The battle of the USFs today as the Saints of St. Francis take on the St. Francis Cougars here in Joliet. After a close loss to start the season, the only blemish for the visiting Cougars is a 49-0 loss at 5th-ranked Marion, the same Marion team that the Saints battled closely last week before a couple late touchdowns put it out of reach. The Cougars, with their 7-2 record, are still battling for a playoff berth, but they certainly would need to win out to do so. The Saints will do their best today to make sure that doesn't happen. The 9th edition of the Franciscan Bowl kicks off next on the USF Sports TV Network. And good afternoon. Welcome down to Joliet Memorial Stadium. Nick and Dan here with you for senior night. It's the Franciscan Bowl, St. Francis versus St. Francis. That's not going to be confusing for us at all today. We'll worry about that a little bit later on. But a beautiful fall day here, a little bit cloudy. Winds are calm. Should be a perfect day for some football here, Coach. We're taking a look at both of the St. Francis is coming in today. Joliet 3-5. On the other side, the silver and blue Cougars coming in 7-1. Pretty impressive record, and we're going to get much deeper into that as we go. But both these teams coming off pretty impressive games. Of course, the Cougars of St. Francis upsetting number 22 Olivet Nazarene, taking over that number 22 spot in the top 25. For our Saints, 28-11 loss to Marion on the road last week, but played them real tough. And you can, I know you don't want to take losses, but you can learn a lot from a team, even playing a very good team like that tough.
Well, when you play a team like Marion, who's always been a very physical team, and you bring a young team, Joe brought a young team in, and to play them as physical as they did, particularly in the second half, that says a lot. There's a lot of growing pains going on this year with this young group. Coaches are doing an outstanding job of preparing them, but to get in situations like that where you're playing nationally ranked teams and playing them that well on the road, I think that second half could be a big launching point for the Saints as they finish up the season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This will be the third-ranked team the Saints will play this year. Indiana Wesleyan, Marion, and now St. Francis, Indiana. And when you look at the offensive numbers, the Saints, not only are they have identical names, but they have some identical stats as well. The points per game are a tenth different. Yards per game are just a few yards different. St. Francis, Illinois, the Saints actually have an advantage in the rushing game. So maybe that could be a key to the game for the Saints today.
Well, certainly, St. Francis have that three-headed running back there. They got great athletes there. Young quarterback. It's going to come down to making a big play somewhere here or there. Get the ball in the end zone. Their defense has been excellent as far as secondary getting takeaways, so that could be a big part of it as well. But it's going to be a game that could be very close and come down to this getting one stop or making that one big play that counts late in the game.
Let's talk to head coach Joe Curry here. His 14th season, 14th senior day, and always an interesting day. But we'll talk about the game you got coming up here today in just a second. Last week, Marion, I'll tell you what, 5 minutes ago in that game, and it felt like you were just one play away. What were the takeaways for the coaching staff coming off that Marion game?
Our kids battled hard, and they were not intimidated by a number 7 team. And when you look at Marion, I mean, their offensive line, huge, tight ends, huge, defensive line, huge. And our kids accepted that challenge, and I think won the physical battle, especially in the second half. But, when you say the second half, that's why you play a full game. And we struggled in the first half, and, we weren't able to put a lot together as far as a full game goes. You got to give Marion some credit there, too. But I was encouraged by the way our kids fought and by the way they battled. And, hopefully that fight and battle continues here today.
And you had a Keegan Bell, obviously, on the other side of that, who's their all-world running back. And it felt like you played him pretty tough, even though the yards were there. But minus him, the second interception for Tristan Polka on his career, the defense played so well. And I think maybe the most encouraging thing is you ran the ball really well.
Yeah, I think it was. And I asked Coach McCarthy at halftime, I said, Matt, 13 rush for 29 yards. We're really doing a bang-up job. He goes, yeah, we're probably going to have to throw it every down. And then it was the exact opposite in the second half. So, I mean, we found something in the running game, and kudos to Coach McCarthy and our offensive staff. Like, they stuck with it. Sometimes as an offensive staff, you struggle to find what works, and the minute you find it, you don't leave it. And he didn't leave it on Saturday, and our kids loved it. We had one particular drive where we drove the ball down the field and it was 13 straight runs. I called that old school football, and our kids loved it, and they were like, "Yeah, it was great," And so our kids embraced it. Our kids loved it, and so hopefully that energy and effort continue today.
Well, Joe, your secondary has been playing well all year, and I know you're going up against an outstanding passing team this year. Any insights on what you're going to do to try and stop this potent passing attack?
No, I mean, we're gonna do what we do. However, there are some tells that they give you as far as some formations and some things that they're doing. So the big thing, I think, is their quarterback. I think we have to hit him. I think we got to get to him and we got to disrupt him. If we can do that, he's been known to throw some balls up and put him in some precarious spots, in which we've been pretty good at getting this year. And even Mike Hackman, we give him grief all the time, but he's got some picks, but we tell him he leads the country in missed picks too, because he drops a few.
Had one last week.
Yeah, one last week as well. So, but we're there to make the play. That's the encouraging thing. We're there. We just have to finish those things and make it. But I think we got to hit the quarterback, and for us, it always starts with stopping the running game. And this football, you got to stop the running game. They got a pretty good back that's been doing really good for the past couple of weeks, and if we can stop him and make Eight sit back there and throw the football, if we know those things are going to happen and we can pressure him a little bit and get to him, then I think we can frustrate him and get some turnovers, and that's really what Marion did to him. It was ironic, we played Marion last week, and a couple weeks ago they got shut out by Marion, and I mean, the quarterback threw 3 picks and fumbled the ball, and so they kind of got to him and disrupted him, and things seem to happen when we're able to do that.
All right, go get him, Coach. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Good luck, Coach.
This is the 9th edition of the St. Francis versus St. Francis Franciscan Bowl. Saints are only 1-7 against the Cougars here, Coach. That win did come 2 years ago with some of the returner players that we're going to see here today. What are some of the other keys? After you hear Coach Curry talk about what he's coming into, what are your keys of the game here today?
Well, I think, his excitement about their running game. I think the running game can open up so many other options for you in the passing game. If you can run the ball, control tempo, keep their quarterback off the field, keep that offense off the field, that could be a big part of it. So I'm anxious to see how the Saints come out and run the ball today. I think that's a big key. I think obviously their play action passing, getting Fiddle involved in the game, getting the ball a little, getting some one-on-one coverages. And of course, let's see if that defense can continue to get some turnovers.
Yep, going to have to get after that quarterback, no doubt about it. It is also senior night, 17 players and 1 support staff that they will be honoring today, making their last appearance for the Brown and Gold as well. More on that when kickoff is just around the corner on the USF Sports TV network.
It's a small school, but it's mighty in that it changes your life when you go here.
The experiences that I gained and the life lessons that I learned while I was here are something that I continue to carry with me. I'm proud to hold 4 degrees from the university. I wouldn't have gone back time and time again if I didn't think that this was a quality education.
No matter where you are in life, with the right people, the right school, and the right support, you can do anything.
Your career is limitless after you go to the University of St. Francis.
The seniors have been honored, and we are just a few minutes away from kickoff, final home game of the regular season for the St. Francis, final home game of what would be their 2025 season. Nick Jacobs and Coach Dan Sharp high atop Joliet Memorial Stadium, about 6 minutes to go. Interesting conversation with head coach Joe Curry there on the air. We had a few words with him off the air as well, and what I took from it is it was your you noticed his attitude and his demeanor today. He was a pretty confident coach walking around the sidelines this afternoon.
Yeah, Joe looked excited. I think, being senior night, he's saying goodbye to some of the guys that he recruited, that have been with him for 4 years. And that's always a little bit of an emotional day, an excitement day. But I think the second half of last week's game, I think he came away really liking his team for how hard they played and how physical they played against the number 7 team in the country at their place. And I think he built on that this week. And so I'm anxious to see when they come out today how well they run the ball. You mentioned, how they're going to get pressure on the quarterback. You mentioned that earlier, Nick, how important that is. So I'm anxious to see is if they continue that physical type of play. In the interview, when he talked about when they ran the ball 13 straight times and being able to dominate. When you're running the ball and your opponent knows you're going to run the ball and they can't stop you from running it, that's just a major advantage for you. And so that part, I think he's taken the second half of last week and must have had a great practice this week.
Absolutely, and pressuring the quarterback is going to be important for both teams because it's kind of interesting how it plays out here today because St. Francis with the freshman Nate Mall and we can't really do that now, can we? St. Francis Joliet, the Saints with freshman quarterback Nate Mall, and the St. Francis Cougars with their senior quarterback Josh Kolka have pretty similar numbers. Their offenses are putting up nearly identical points per game. St. Francis at 30.9. I did it again. The Saints with 30.9, the Cougars with 30.8. Total offensive yardage is nearly identical, 394 for the Saints, 397 per game for the Cougars. The Saints do have the advantage in the run game, like we mentioned. The Saints are rushing per game 170 yards. The Cougars at 123 yards. So the Saints do have the advantage there in the rushing. But the other thing that they're pretty much identical in is interceptions. As prolific as the Cougars' passing offense has been, Josh Kolka, their fifth-year graduate senior quarterback, has thrown 9 interceptions. And the Saints' defense, pretty known for taking the ball away. They're one of the top 10 teams in the country when they're taking the ball away as well. So both offenses can score over 30 points a game, but both quarterbacks have been turnover prone. So it's really going to come down to which one can control the ball, which one can take care of the football, and which one is under some duress from the defense.
Yes, definitely. I think you made a good point there. Which one can control the ball? Because if you run the ball, you're not at risk of interception. And that's one way to cut down on your interceptions is be able to run the ball well. And if what Coach Curry was mentioning, what he took from last week, I think the Saints are going to come out trying to run the ball. So it's going to be interesting to see who can control the game, control the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a big thing. You have to put pressure on their quarterback. You mentioned that earlier. Coach Curry mentioned that as well. If they're not getting pressure on the Cougars, could be a long afternoon. But we need to control the ball and score. We got to finish with with touchdowns, not field goals. And we can't hurt ourselves. We got to stay away from the penalties. And that happens a lot with a young team. You get some penalties in some key situations. So I think if they clean up the penalties, continue to run the ball, and put a little pressure on their quarterback, that'd be a great game plan for St. Francis.
As you just saw, the Saints, I know, here we go again. The Saints did win the coin flip. They have decided to defer, so we're going to see the Cougars offense on the field first, which is probably good because when it does come to pressuring the quarterback, the Cougars are going to have the edge there. They got two very, very good defensive ends in Marquise Cross, Nate Johnson, A.J. Moore as well. Those guys combining for nearly 30 tackles for a loss and about 11 sacks between the three of that defensive front for the Cougars. So the offensive line for the Saints is going to have to be on point today. No mistakes from them. The special teams is going to be an issue here too. Adrian Guerrero, the kicker and punter for the Saints, going to have a great game today, going to control the field position. And Carl View in the return game. They're going to have to help out the offense as much as they can today as well.
Yeah, the Saints have as good a special team skill people as we've seen. Yep. You talked about Guerrero, his ability to place kick, punt, his kickoffs. He has several different types of kickoffs, and he uses them in different wind conditions. And then the fact that you got a possible home run every time you kick the ball to Carl, he could take it to the house. So that aspect, I think the special teams, in any close game, the special teams are a big factor.
And how about the national anthem? Right out of the blue. And hopefully the Saints defense can be like our national anthem. You just never really know when it's going to come at you. Senior night, we're honoring 17 football players today. Matt Alston, Ryan Bannis, Marcelo Bernardi, William Brandow, Mike Carver, Gavin Day, Nick Franciscovich, who's injured today and not playing, Jake Friddle, Carson Hansen, Brandon Harry, Rylan Heersink, and Nick Mabudis, Owen McGuire, Anthony Nichikowski, Alanis Navaltzi, and Curtis Reeves, along with Alan Richards. And a big thanks to football support personnel, August Korea. Their last game suiting up for the brown and gold today. Always an emotional day on senior day.
It is. I mean, you work hard, practice. You build such great relationships. That's the beauty of playing sports, and in this case, the sport of football, is the relationships you build, the friendships that'll last forever, and you see each other at your best and at your worst, and you're always there to support each other. So it is a kind of an emotional day, and I think these Saints are really I got a good feeling about today. The way they look warming up, just everything. There's a little bit of excitement and a little pep in their step today. 49-degree
air temperature, winds out of the east around 5. You saw the flag just barely blowing in the breeze there during the national anthem. A little bit of a wind chill, feels like 45. Perfect day for some mid-November football, late-season football here in Joliet. Guerrero kicking off, Nick Nondorf and Bo Braun back to return for the Cougars. It'll be Nondorf from the 6, and we're off and running here between the St. Francis Cougars and St. Francis Saints. Return to the 25, and that will bring out Josh Kolka and company. Kolka's been there a long time. 2 years ago, he was injured against the Saints of St. Francis in that game. We saw much of Garrett Yoon, the backup quarterback today, started that game that the Saints won 2 years ago. But it's Josh Kolka today, the graduate student out of Clinton Township, Michigan. Very efficient, 63% through the air, over 2,400 yards, 21 touchdowns, but 9 interceptions, averaging about 271 yards per game through the air. Not much of a threat to run, but he will if he has to. Does have 3 touchdowns on the ground. Doesn't really average much per game, though. Tailback is, I'll tell you that in just a second after the play. As they go out of the pistol, snap back to Kolka, play action to him. They like to go first play home run, but they're going to check it down. Good coverage downfield, but it was incomplete. Looking for their number 1 wide receiver, Ajay Dandridge, incomplete pass.
Right off the bat, St. Francis does come in with a 4-man front, and they ran some twists and games inside. It created a little bit of pressure. They collapsed the pocket, as you can see there, and made it difficult for the quarterback to step into his throw. So that's a good sign right off the bat.
Dandridge leading the team for the Cougars with 4 touchdowns. Play action again through the air again, middle of the field. It's complete up past the 40-yard line. Pickup of 16 on the play to their biggest weapon on the field out of the tight end spot, Chris Mullen, the junior out of Chesterton, Indiana. 36 catches, which is tops for the Cougars. Over 440 yards and 5 touchdowns. Okay. But we do have a penalty on the Cougars.
We got a penalty, and if you look at the replay, the quarterback was really looking to the flat and flipped it over the middle quickly. Great deception there in his throwing the ball. It looks like they're going to attack the Saints zone, and they're throwing those intermediate passes in the hook curl area, and then trying to get yards after catch.
70 penalties on this Cougars offense, or I should say on the Cougars team, which is quite a bit as well. There you see Mullen, the tight end, shifting right. Saints going to bring 5. They got a free blitzer, but the check down screen is there past the original line of scrimmage. Not quite there for the first down, so it's going to be 3rd down and short out to Dandridge, I believe.
Very good play call by the Cougars on that play. They were anticipating St. Francis sending the blitz, which they did. You can see them bringing a blitz linebacker up in the B gap there, and they called a screen pass, which is a perfect call against any blitzing team, and ends up with a big gain.
It was Wallace, the tailback. They did give him the first down. I thought they needed to get to the 36, but apparently it was the 35. Wallace on the ground. St. Francis has been good against the run. The Saints defense has been, and they shut down the first running play of the game from the Cougars. Only a yard there. 2nd down for the Cougs.
Yes, you're right. The Saints excellent in working against the run. They strung this out. See the defensive line, hold their men up, working down the line of scrimmage, strung the play out, and allowed the linebackers and safeties to come up to clean it up.
Saints allow just 130 yards on the ground per game. With their defense, the Cougars only run for about 120 per game. 4 wideouts on the field here for Kolka, but they're going to run it right up the A-gap here, Coach. Nice fighting, though. Look at the effort near the first down. Depending on that spot, actually, it's going to be close. Okay, so they're going to say 3rd down and 1. Another nice run by Azaria Wallace.
Yeah, we looked like we had Wallace stop there for a moment, and he kind of spun out and went to his left here and worked upfield and broke a couple tackles and turned what looked like to be a 1 or 2 yard gain into a 9 yard gain.
Wallace, the backup running back starting the season, but their lead rusher, Drew Wheat, went down with injury after the first few games, so it's all been Wallace. They're crashing on the run, and they got him behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2 on the play for the Saints. They knew the run was coming there, Coach.
Boy, great penetration by the Saints defense that time. They totally reestablished the line of scrimmage, pushed it back to the Cougars' side of the line, and now it's 4th and 3. And
they're going for it here, Coach. 39% on 4th down. It's 4th and 3. They must love a good passing play here. 4 down linemen for the Saints.
Look for that.
Oh, they're going to try to get him to draw, to go off sides, but Saints ain't having it. That's a big play to just not jump off sides to give him the extra first down. Snap to Kolka. Down the middle, wide open to the tight end, upended at the 41-yard line, and that has been the soft part of the zone defense for St. Francis, for the Saints, not just this season, but for as long as they've been running this defense. Middle of the field through the air has always been the soft spot.
Yep, it came off and just hit they had 3 receivers to the right. They hit the slot receiver right over the middle for a big first down.
Into Saint territory. Right up the middle is Wallace, untouched for 12 yards and a first down to the 30.
Yeah, they just ran a straight dive right at it. Man-on-man blocking. Just hit the seam right there. Good turnout block by the right guard for the Cougars. And that opened up a lane for Wallace, another big first down.
Wallace the tail. Mullen the tight end left. They give to Wallace on the ground again. Good blocking by the tight end. Carson Hansen there to get his paws all over Wallace for 1 yard gain.
Saints have been very good at the perimeter run game. Like I mentioned earlier, their defensive line really could string the play out, tie up the blockers, as you can see there, and then here comes the linebackers and safeties to come in and make the play. That time it was Hansen that came in and made the tackle.
Player to watch for the Cougars offense, that big tight end, number 7, the wing back left. Play action. They're going to look downfield, look to the end zone. They have him beat. Couldn't pull it in with the left hand. Incomplete. Intended for Colin McPeak, the junior wideout.
That was interesting. That time was the first time we've seen them go to a 3-man front. They brought in extra coverage. As you can see, they got 5 under zone, 2 deep on top, and that was an excellent change-up for the Saints. A different look.
Third down and 9, another third down opportunity for this Saints defense. They're going to rush 5 against Kolka. He'll fire wide open on the sideline is Dandridge at the 10. Somebody forgot about Anjay Dandridge. It's going to be first and goal for the Cougars.
As you said, they went to a 5-man line there and brought them all straight through, but they had nobody that is covering out in the flat. The corner bailed out, and then somebody had to cover that sideline, and that was a blown coverage for sure.
Let's see what they can do in short yardage. Typically, this is Chris Mullen territory for the Cougars. The tight end, number 7. He's lined up slot right in this 4-receiver set. Kolka's looking his way. He's wide open. He faked the block. They thought they were going to go for the screen. The Saints defense bit, and he was wide open.
Exactly. That looked like it was a wide receiver screen, fake block, run a little fade, and Saints reacted to the block quickly. It was a great deception play. You have to have patience and really carry out your fakes to make that effective, and the Cougars did on that one. It was an excellent fake block and then hit the fade for a touchdown.
Mullen picks up his 9th touchdown of the season, his 6th through the air. Extra point on from the left-footed kicker. It is up and good from Austin DeLeon.
Yes.
Show us what you got.
As you can see here, we're going to show a fake block right here, and then he's going to release upfield. Oh, I don't know what I did there.
You highlighted it. Is that exactly where it was on the field? You saw Mullen with that fake block. He didn't even need to make contact.
No, he just set his feet, showed his hands. Defender reacted, and they made the good throw there. Let's see if I can.
All right, time to see what Nate Mall and this St. Francis offense can do. And maybe, ideally, they don't even need to see the field right now because you got Carl Bew standing back there. We'll see if they give him a chance because he's one of the best in the country at returning kicks. 27-yard average, but 2 kick return touchdowns. A 100-yarder against Lawrence Tech. He had a 97-yarder last week against Marion. Those are the 2 longest kick returns in St. Francis football history. That drive for the Cougars went 11 plays, 75 yards in 5 minutes and 9 seconds. Pretty much it's a dream start for the Cougars.
Yeah, it was a nice drive. Mixed it up pretty well, too. They had some good runs. Again, the Saints were, when they got a little bit of pressure, they were able to force an incompletion. But at quarterback, when he has time, boy, he's accurate.
Kick from De Leon. It will give Bew a chance from the 5-yard line. Let's see if Carl can make some magic happen early on here on Senior Day. Pretty good return out to the 30, 25-yard return, right about his average for old number 1. Now comes Nate Mall and company. It's going to come down to the decision-making from Nate. You got to take care of the football and ideally a run game that is going to be effective here today for the Brown and Gold. There's number 1, Carl Bew, your 2-time Special Teams Player of the Week in the MSFA. Starting tailback is going to be the new lead rusher for St. Francis, Larry Stringham, 267 yards on 59 carries. Had a nice game last week against Marion. He'll hit the B gap, try to hold on to that ball. You see how active the defense is going after the football on Larry Stringham there, and to pick up a 4 on the first play of the game for the Saints.
Yeah, nice pickup. We got good blocking to the right side, as you can see. Stringham just hits the hole hard, and he's hard to bring down. He's always falling forward. He's always moving forward, getting extra yards after the first hit.
Tight end left, 3 wide outs on the field. First pass from Nate down the middle of the field. Wide open, uncovered is Connor, and he'll pick up the first down. That was about as easy as it comes for Connor Engstrom.
That was great. They ran 3 verticals right up the field, and then Connor came out underneath and just sat right in the hook curl area there that was vacated by the slot receiver running the seam route.
They were all chasing number 88, Jake Friddle, on the play. Play action, they're going to go to Ryan, a little bit overthrown. Looking for Mason Hackman on the fade route on the sideline.
Yeah, he had one-on-one. Looked like Aiden released inside, and Nate was expecting him to release outside on that one.
Mason
Hackman. Miscommunication there.
Mason, the sophomore out of Danville, 20 catches, couple touchdowns. Second down after the incomplete pass.
Friddle on the wheel.
Outside it goes to Jake. Turns it upfield past the 50. Leaps up to the 45-yard line. That is enough for the first down for Double Eights.
Great route. 2 guys cleared out, as you can see. These 2 guys will clear out. And here comes Friddle, wide open in the flat.
Some well done telestrator work right there, folks. You don't know. Coach Sharp getting in midseason form here in our last home game. Oh, they didn't give him the first down. They said he was out of bounds at the 46. So 3rd and 1, they're going to throw. Here comes pressure. Check down again to Little. Out.
Oh, that's
real close to the first down. Where are they putting the ball down? That's going to be a big
yard short, it looks like, Nick.
Ryan Little's first catch, but he was kind of off balance at the sideline. Oh, that looks like a first. I mean, you got to at least measure that, don't you? Wow, okay.
Stringham here.
They hand off to Larry. That's enough for the first down. Stringham powers to the 36-yard line. First down, no doubt about that one.
Boy, they had the numbers there on the left side, as you can see. Great blocking by the line and an excellent wall down block by Friddle. Here in his last game at Memorial Stadium, makes a great block on that play to create a lane for a first down.
Ryan Little, single coverage right. They're going to hand off to
Again.
Larry left. Another beautiful run of 7 yards for Larry Stringham.
Coach McCarthy sees that they got leverage over on the left side with their tight end over there at the left wing, and they're going tempo here.
2nd and 3. To throw, Ryan Little's wide open in the middle of a trio of Cougar defenders, and he takes it into the red zone for another Saint first down. Ryan Little, though, gets up limping, holding that right hip. He's already got his left shoulder wrapped up pretty tight, so hopefully Ryan can keep going.
Little bubble there on the quick slant. Play action off the good running game and hit the slant over the middle.
Stringham diving to the 15.
Boy,
Larry picks up about 4.5 per touch. He's a little bit above that average here this first drive.
you watch him run, and his shoulders always stay parallel to the line of scrimmage. He's facing the end zone every time. His jump cut, he's always in good position going north and south.
10th play of this Saints opening drive. Abubakar Berry now the tailback. Ryan Little one-on-one in the end zone. They're going to check it down to Berry, but a great tackle made at the 12-yard line. Well done by Dylan Creel, the linebacker.
Boy, the Cougars had an excellent rush from the outside here. Speed just blows right by our left tackle, puts a little pressure on Nate, but he's able to get the ball off to at least get us some positive yards.
Nate Mull had to come out. Carl Bew takes his spot. Hands it off to Berry, looking for some room on the interior. And it's close to a first down. I don't think he's going to get there. It's going to be 4th down and 1 at the 11.
Well, you could, with Bew in here, you got a lot of things you could do on 4th and 1.
Let's see how Matt McCarthy plays this one with Carl Bew and Berry in the backfield. Jake Friddle tight end right. You got to think they're going to run it here someplace.
Little option play here.
Linebackers are ready to come at it.
There's
Option play.
read.
He's going to try to get to the edge. He's got a couple of guys to beat. He does get to the sticks and a first down, 1st and goal, thanks to the speed of Carl Bew. 1st and goal.
Oh, that's exactly right. Thanks to the speed of Carl. He read that, and they still played it. Look at the number. They had 2 defenders out there, and he just outran them for the first down.
This has been trouble area for the Saints offense when they get into the red zone, especially inside the 10. You can't turn it over. Pass to the outside for Engstrom. Nice tackle at the 8-yard line. That is well done by their safety, Tamaris Springfield.
And we had no one to block Springfield on that play. It was just a one-on-one situation. We blocked the corner, but we didn't have any personnel to block the safety.
2nd and goal at the 8-yard line. Stringham inside to the 5. 3rd and 5.
That's one of the staple plays for the Saints there, where they run their little counter play where they pull a guard and then they pull Friddle as the wing. As you can see there's the pull and lead up through. They like what they see on that left side. We've been attacking that left side this whole drive.
If they're going to throw it to Ryan Little, there's got to be air underneath it. Nope, it's Nate Mull rolling left. Wide open is Hackman. They didn't see him in time. Hackman was open in the back corner, but I don't think Nate could get his body turned around enough, and they're going to bring out the field goal unit to at least get some points on the board.
Yeah, you're exactly right. There was some, as on the bootleg here, he had pressure right with him. Look at, as you can see, they mirrored him right down the line of scrimmage, and he had no chance to get his shoulders turned, to get his feet set to make that throw.
14, Owen McGuire, one of the seniors, one of the backup quarterbacks, the holder. Guerrero ready to put it through. It's about an extra point distance, and he is perfect on extra points. He's missed 2 field goals. This one looks good from here, and it is. Saints put points on the board on the first drive of the game. It's 7-3. A quick moving first quarter here. 4:39 to go in the first. What did you like and what you didn't like about that first drive from the Brown and Gold?
Well, it was an excellent drive. You know, obviously when you get in the red zone, you want to score touchdowns instead of field goals. But, boy, they ran the ball well to the left side of the line of scrimmage. They got big yards. The passing game, some quick passes, getting the ball out fast. I thought it was an excellent drive. They mixed it up well. A lot of different personnel touching the ball. So I think that fares well for the game today, as they can continue to move the ball. The key, it all started with the running game, Nick. They ran the ball well, and that set up a lot of their play action.
16 play, 65-yard drive for the Saints. Took 5 minutes off the clock. Almost an identical drive for the Cougars, and the only difference being the result, which is really what it all comes down to. Like you said, you can't leave touchdowns on the field. 2 long drives to start the game. This is going to be a fun one here,
yes,
Coach.
Yes, it is.
Guerrero boots it.
Nice kick.
It'll be a return from the 4-yard line. Hope the number's right. Decent return to the 27. We got a Saint. A little bit slow to get up on that one. Bo Braun, the wide receiver by trade, returning the kick. And a Saint in a bit of pain here. So far through one drive for each team. 5 first downs in that first drive for the Cougars, 4 for the Saints. 31 rushing yards for the Saints to 19 for the Cougars. 61 passing yards for the Cougars compared to 34 for the Saints. Getting up and walking off is Xavier Gary, who's kind of made his way up the depth chart as a cornerback to become one of the guys they rely on the outside, especially on special teams as well. But yeah, good to see him walking off under his own power. All right, everyone got to take a bit of a breather here after a pretty fast start from both teams.
Definitely. Both offenses came out. They moved the ball very well.
4-man front with linebackers right up on the line. Look at this defensive set for St. Francis. They're going to blitz right away. They go with the screen. Breaking out to the left is McCutcheon before he's caught at the 33, gain of 5. That was an interesting concept defensively for the Saints.
They brought 6 right there right away on first down. As you can see, they're all lined up on the line of scrimmage. We had this played well, but our corner got a little bit caught inside a little bit too much. He should have stayed more on the outside shoulder of the receiver. And when he bounced it back outside, they were able to gain about 6 yards.
2nd and 4 out to the, call it the 34-yard line. McCutcheon in motion. They counter the other way, but hit in the mouth by Carson Hansen. Still able to push backwards to the 35 for a yard. Carson Hansen with a big first hit on the running back, Azaria Wallace.
Yeah, Carson did a great job of reading the little counter play there. Stepped right in, made a great stick. No gain.
3rd and 3 now for the Cougars. Watch for their big tight end in the middle of the field. They love going to Mullen.
Keep it 30.
Plenty of time. Going downfield, has a man on the back end of that, on the back end of the play, but it's broken up nicely by the Saints. We're going to give that one, was it 13 for Saints? Because if so, that's Branch, a wide receiver, but I don't think that, maybe it is. They may have moved Oxon Branch from offense to defense on the play.
Well, what they did here, Nick, is this time they had 3 deep zone. They kept their safety, their nickelback. Instead of walking him up toward the line of scrimmage, they played him right in the middle of the field. He took, and the first person the Cougar quarterback looked for was his tight end, and he was taken away right away, and so they had to force him to throw a ball at the double coverage.
Here's the punt on 4th down. Fair catch called for and made by Connor Engstrom at the 25. Nice defensive stand for the Saints to get the ball back. Well done by that secondary downfield.
Nice little wrinkle in the coverage when they went to a 3 deep that time. Usually they like to blitz on those 3rd down plays. They went to a 3 deep, only rushed 3, had excellent coverage.
Coach Curry there with the headset on in his 14th year. 3-time Midwest Coach of the Year for these Fighting Saints. 24th year, though, with the program. 4 as a player back in the day, 7 years as the defensive coordinator, and now 14 years as a head coach, longest tenured head coach here for St. Francis in the 40-year history of the program. Cornerback sliding over. That's going to Be a handoff to Barry. Nice run on first down out to the 30. Oh, I thought give him just 4 yards on the play. So 2nd and 6 coming up.
It's a good start. Again, this time they ran it off the right tackle. Good push by the Saints offensive line. Boy, it's good to see that they're getting all these positive yards on rush, especially on first down.
2nd and 6. Play action. You check down to Fred. Oh, he's unable to hang on and takes a big pop from behind from the safety coming up on the play, Greg Holmes.
Uncharacteristic of Jake there. He took a little peek upfield and bobbled the ball and couldn't pull it in. You can see here, as the ball hits his hands, he's looking upfield right there and was unable to hang on.
Yep, got to make that catch. Moving the pocket for Nate Mall. Throwing on the run has Carl Bew downfield. He'll take it past the 45. About 22 yards on the pitch and catch out to Bew. Anytime you can get the ball to number 1 is a good play.
It's a good thing, and they're moving the pocket for Nate, too. Sometimes he's coming off straight drop back or play action. This time he's rolling out to his left, squares his shoulders nicely, and makes a great throw.
Barry to run. Nice shifty move, but couldn't quite get past midfield. If he would have broke that one tackle, it would have been a big gain. But Tamaris Springfield again comes up to make the stop.
Yeah, and again, you're looking at 4 yards. 4 yards on first down. You got 2nd and 6. A lot of plays you can call in this situation if you're moving ahead of the sticks.
2nd and 7. Nate Mall, 5-step drop, and nearly threw his first pick. He was looking for Ryan Little. We almost had to call Springfield's name again.
Well, Little did a good job of becoming defender on that play and knocking the ball away. Otherwise, that's an interception going the wrong way.
We talked about how both these quarterbacks have been somewhat turnover prone. Nate Malls already has 11 interceptions this season.
Heads up play by Little there.
3rd down and 7. Quick pass. Has Little in space. Past the 35. A beautiful pass. Great catch by Ryan Little, and yards after the reception moves the chains.
Great play action. They had Friddle fake the trap. Friddle, if you see Friddle, he pulls right here. He fakes it, and then it opens up the slot. Opens up the slant there for number 4, Little.
Play action again. Out to Engstrom, but he's popped. He was hoping Carl Bew can hold on to that block a little bit longer. It's going to be a loss of 1. Coming right at you. Nice camera work right in front of our guys. Nice stick made there by Greg Holmes, the cornerback.
Yeah, Holmes made a great job to elude the block from Bew and made a great hit.
2nd and 11, moving the pocket again. Nothing open. Nate's going to try to tuck it, and a little bit of a late slide there. Picks up 4, makes it 3rd down and 8.
Yes, no slide's better than late slide. You get into some awkward positions if you slide late, but here they did a good job. You can see him, the line protected backside gap, creates a little rollout, and
they're moving quick. Here's Nate to throw again. Let's see if he finds someone looking for Engstrom. Tried to thread the needle, incomplete pass. Will bring up 4th down. Let's see here. From the 34, you're talking pretty close to a 50-yard field goal. Too close to punt, too far to kick?
Yeah, I think you go for it here. That time they went man-to-man on the Saints. They did a good job of covering the crossing routes.
Low snap, picked up by Nate. Throwing on the run, has Connor Engstrom to the 25, but it will be a yard short of the 1st down. That'll be a turnover on downs. Connor thinks he has it. I don't think he does. They haven't made the official call yet here, have they? Oh, okay. They got some flags on the field. It's going to be in the place of holding, so probably coming back.
Or
now you might punt it, actually.
Well, they might decline it and get the ball on.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, penalty is declined, and it will be a turnover on down. So the play worked, but came up about a yard shy.
Well, he's doing what every good receiver does. You come back to the ball to make sure you get the catch. The problem was it took him out of bounds right at the just before the 25-yard line.
See it one more time here.
And as he comes back to the ball, as you can see, he comes back to the ball, which he had to do to catch it, but it just so happened to bring him just in front of the sticks. It's that close.
Cougars take over with the 4-point lead. Couple more seconds left to go here in what's been an entertaining first quarter.
Yes, it has.
Kolka moves his tight end Mullen to the right. On the ground for Wallace, trying to sneak through. Nice spin move down to the 31. It's a good first down carry by Wallace to knock off 5, and that should bring us to the end of the first quarter, I would believe.
Yep, that Wallace is he's slippery. He's a hard guy to get down.
And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Both teams scoring on their first drives of the game. Both teams turning it over or punting on the second. We will flip sides of the field and come back in about 60 seconds. You're watching St. Francis football on the USF Sports TV network. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. Senior Day here for the Saints in their 40th year of college football at the University of St. Francis. Nick and Coach Dan with you. 7-3 Cougars on top as we go into quarter number 2. Kolka, the graduate student quarterback, 63% through the air so far this season, has second down and 5. Wallace found a hole, gets into the third level, bouncing outside. Mason Hackman misses. Every one of the Saints defenders missing on the first attempt. Great run by Wallace out to midfield to change the sticks and field position for the Cougars.
You see the chess game. The Saints go back to 3-man line and a 3-deep zone, and they see that and they run the ball. There's one less man in the box. They took advantage of it. Now Saints back to a 4-man line.
See if they throw the ball here on first down at the 49. Yep, sure are. Quick outs. Out to the 42. That should be enough for the first down for the Cougars.
Play action similar to the previous play, and then the quick hitch out here. Looks like he's running a fade, stops, hitches, sets between the zone there and makes the first down.
Bodie Dickerson the catch and first down for the Cougars. They're marching. 2 first downs on 2 plays. One corner off, one quarter tight. They're going to run right. Wallace up the hash marks. Drugged down by Hansen. It's a pickup of 5 for the Cougars.
Cougars are doing a good job of keeping the Saints off balance. You know, they were throwing on early downs, and now they're running, mixing it in.
.45 rushing yards for the Cougars so far in the game. Second down and 5. Play action, another quick one to Mullen, middle of the field. Tons of room for their tight end into the red zone again. It's always been the soft spot, and if you're going to give it to a talented tight end with that much space, Saints are going to pay for that.
You're going to see here the Cougars, when they see the Saints in a 4-man line, you're going to see a lot of play action and throws over the middle because there's one less defender in the middle. 3-man line, you're going to see them run the ball more.
Wallace looking for a hole, bounces outside. Corner has to come in and make a stop. First one to make contact was Xavier Gary, but it's going to be 2nd and 2 inside the 10-yard line for the Cougars.
Great patience by Wallace there. They're running an inside zone, and he was patient behind his lineman until he found a little opening and was able to exploit it for a big gain.
Throwing, fading into the corner. It's well over the head of the intended receiver. That was Dickerson again, incomplete.
Good coverage in the corner that time.
Yeah, if that wasn't incomplete long, it could have been intercepted.
Yes.
Gotta love the footwear there by Dickerson, too, rocking the pink and green cleats today. I'll always know where he is on the field.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Third down. They can get a first down to the 3. Dandridge cuts it up the hashes, hit around the 5, falls forward to the 2. Going to be very close. They will say first down. They give him the first down without even checking on it. It's going to be first and goal.
Yeah, they ran around the left side. Nice turnout block by the tight end there, and was able to create a lane. Enough for the first down.
You sell out on the run here?
I think, well, they're in a tight formation. You may see a play action maybe to a tight end, but I think they're going to run it off the left.
Tight end is the fullback here. They do run straight to Dandridge, and he's in past the goal line for the second touchdown for the Cougars. It's a tough offense here, Coach.
It is. They had a wing to the left, so you had strength as far as numbers to the left, and then they just ran the ball off the right with a lead block. Pulled the guard, little power play to the right, and were able to get the ball into the end zone. An excellent drive by the Cougars.
Austin DeLeon, extra point. He's 38 for 40 on the year, has missed a few.
Ooh.
That one does sneak through. 9 plays, 74 yards in 3 minutes and 23 seconds for the Cougars for their second touchdown of the game. Saints need to score a touchdown, and when you look at the schedule, the last few games for the Saints, let's exclude the Judson game. Judson's struggling a bit defensively. St. Francis, the Saints handled them well, but the last 3 games against quality opponents, Marion, St. Xavier, and Indiana Wesleyan, they did pretty good against Wesleyan, put up 31 points. But the last 2 games against Marion and St. Xavier, no offensive touchdowns. They really got to find a way to, when they do get it inside striking distance, into the red zone or closer, to really find a way to get those touchdowns. Well, we got the referee and the officials kind of huddling here too.
Yeah. Well, what you were just saying there, Nick, is apparent today. You know, we drove the ball down and then had a field goal, and then we turned it over on down. So we're moving the ball. It's just that we get down in the red zone or close to the red zone, and we struggle a little bit. And that's an area that's really got to improve.
Carl's going to slide to his right, start the return from the 4-yard line. It's a reverse on the return. St. Francis, the Cougars were all over that, though. Tried to manufacture some field position there to get it to Larson's, but the Cougars disciplined in their pursuit.
Exactly. When you run a reverse like that, you usually run it against teams that get out of their lanes and, just attack the ball. But the Cougars were very disciplined, stayed in their lanes, and now you're running east and west instead of north and south. And a lot of times, this could happen. You may be able to bust a big play, but against a disciplined team, you're not going to do that.
See it one more time here. Bu hands it off to Larson's. Nothing doing on the return, though.
Nope.
Stringham pushing up past the 15, give him the 16-yard line. That's only about 3 yards, though. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Saints.
There's a situation where Stringham gets hit at the line of scrimmage, and he gets 3-yard gain out of it. He just keeps those feet going. He's gets those shoulders low. He's a tough target to hit, and it's strong. And never, ever seen him go backwards on a hit.
Couple tight ends to the right. Friddle pulls. They're going to roll Nate that way. Throw it to Jake. What a tackle made. Busting right through the attempted block out there. Urisic just whiffed on the block, and a fantastic tackle made for the Cougars.
Kind of looked like they're trying to run a little one-man tight end screen here. They had 2 tight ends at that side. One was blocked the corner, and the other one with a little screen look.
Greg Holmes, the cornerback, having a great game so far. They're coming at Nate. Blitz coming from his right. He goes left. He's got room to run. He tucks it and goes. There goes Nate Mull past the 30 and out of bounds at the 35. Beautifully done by Nate to move the sticks on 3rd down.
As you can see here, Nate drops, looks to his right, and then everything opens up on his left side. And a very smart move by Nate to take that yardage. There's a lot of space out there for the quarterbacks to take advantage of.
Rushing 4, Nate rolling right. He had more room out there. Diving attempt made. Did he get his feet in bounds? They're going to give it to him. My goodness, what a play by Mason Hackman to keep that one in bounds.
Again, that same play where they roll right. You got Gavin blocking that right edge, and he throws the ball. That must have got the 1 foot down.
That's a heck of a play by Mason Hackman. That's the best catch he's had all year long.
Beautiful catch.
I thought Nate would run it again because they're not really respecting his running ability here. They're giving him some room if he wants it. 2nd and 3. On the ground, was that Gavin Day, I believe?
I believe so.
No gain.
Yeah, the Cougars doing a good job.
Is Larry Stringham hurt?
Stuffing
That's
the
what I
last
want to
week.
know, because why wouldn't he be in this game right now?
I don't know.
Gavin Day, the tail and the pistol, 2 wideouts left. They got 2 receivers out here. One of them's uncovered. Blitz, Nate looking for some kind of room, and there is none, and he is planted into the turf.
The Cougars are really getting good pressure from their ends outside. Again, if you look here, number 14 gets up the field so quick, forces Nate to step up, but there was nothing to step up into. The pocket had collapsed by then. And
Did you see the linebacker kind of shift off of Hackman, the receiver, on that play? If they would have just saw that, and it may have, required some sort of an audible or hot route on his part from Nate Mall there.
Yes, they do a good job of disguising coverage is what they're doing out there. And again, we had pressure right away.
Oh, dangerous but beautiful punt by Guerrero. He was going to have a good game today to help control field position for the Saints, and that's his first punt and a beauty out to the 21-yard line.
Well, we need a big stop here. This is a
need
big
a
series
turnover.
for our defense.
And I think the Saints are going to need a turnover if they want to stick in this one, because it's going to be hard to stop that offense with their really great balance of run and pass so far. For the Cougars, 99 yards through the air, 62 on the ground, all 62 from Azaria Wallace, their tailback, number 33, who I do not believe is standing to the right of Kolka at the moment here on first down to start the drive. Run play. Crawling out past the 25 for a pickup about 3 or 4.
They come right back with that run to the left.
That was Braylon Gilliard, the sophomore out of Indy. First touch of the game for the Cougars.
St. Francis in the 3-man line. You see now number 20's in the middle of the field. They got a 3-deep coverage there. They're going to run the ball when they see that.
Still fighting out past the 30. That's enough for a first down for the Cougars. So the Saints having a tough time stopping the run out of the 3-man front and stopping the pass out of the 4.
That's what it looks like.
And if that's going to be the trend here, they're going to have to change it up. First down for the Cougars. 4-man front. Now they do run it. Out to the edge this time, though. Gilliard to the 38-yard line. Picks up about 5.
They like that run into the play off to the left there. You can see they did a good job of hooking our defensive end. Was able to get around and pick up those 5 yards. We got to be able to set the edge. Especially if we're in a 4-man line, we should be able to set the edge a little better. We're back to 3-man line. We'll see number 20 play the safety in the middle of the field.
2nd and 5. Another inside carry. Finally get him down only after a gain of 2. So 3rd down and 2 coming up big down here for the St. D.
That was a nice job by the Saints that time. Got good push on the defensive line. The linebackers come in, filled their gaps. Saints did an excellent job of squeezing that run play right there.
Coaches are going to number 7. I know that. The coaches got to know that. And I'm all wrong. They do stop. Ball comes out. I don't know if the Saints got it, but it's going to be at least a turnover on downs. Great stand by the Saints, and that's why I'm up here with this headset, not the coach's headset.
Well, that time the Saints did a good job of disguising. They had the middle safety, as you can see here.
They're going to go on 4th, by the way.
And he walked up
see, I'm
late.
wrong again. Sorry, I keep interrupting you with terrible predictions.
That's all right. No problem.
I'm sorry to interrupt because we were trying to get an education there.
No, that's all right. Baranowski is the person that will play the middle safety and also walk up as the extra linebacker. They disguised that so well that time. It looked like they were playing 4 deep, or 3 deep. They ran the ball, but Baranowski cheated up and made a play.
First punt from the Cougars. It's a short end over end. Fair catch called for, and ran into one of the players. Maybe ran into one of the Saints players. If that's the case, then well, there was no flag, so he must have ran it. You can't. It's not an onside punt. A couple Cougars saying it was their ball, like it touched somebody maybe, but
no,
I don't think it did. No,
he did make a fair catch on that.
I think he ran into somebody, and it must have been his own.
Well,
one of the Saints guys, right?
They're talking about it.
Saints ball. Oh no! One of the officials is down. I don't know if he fell down or he just collapsed. He might have just ran into one of those big boys up front. He just got knocked over. It looks like he's okay here. And ironically enough, that's one of the officials we were actually talking about before the game. Right arm amputated, and then we actually ran into his wife out at one of the tailgate parties as he gets a little drink of water here. That man actually not only a football referee, but an official in 7 other sports: basketball, baseball, softball, lacrosse, volleyball. The guy does it all, and he was called into this game at around 10:30. See what happened. Oh, yeah, he was just knocked over. He just knocked over by one of the Cougar linemen there. I mean, if I got hit by one of those guys, I would react the exact same way.
Oh, man.
I got a little nervous there for him, but
he's a gamer.
Glad he's okay. Still going to shake it off a bit.
He's officiating 7 sports. I bet he's had a share of.
There you go.
Getting banged around a little bit. Good for him. Yeah. Oh, God.
Glad we get him some screen time, too. That's amazing.
That's a great story you came up with. Good reporting there,
you like
Nick.
That? Yeah, crack reporter over here. I only knew that because I wanted to stop for some free ribs and brisket. Here's Maul on the throw. Flag comes in behind. Probably going to be a hold. And if it is, it'll be the first penalty on the Saints today.
Yeah, a lot of times when you roll out, they grab on the edge there. Your offensive tackler will grab the shoulder pad and grab the jersey.
You
can see here, when you're blocking and then he rolls, there it is. Grab that jersey. Well, that's 1st and 25 now.
Yep. It's a first penalty, but a big one here to
20.
Really make this a very difficult start to the drive. Aaron Larson has a little room if he can break a tackle. He can't do it to the 18. No gain.
Well, that was a great tackle by number 5 for the Cougars. Thought we had something here. Look at the hole open up. And then number 5 read it perfectly, stepped in.
What a great game.
Tackle.
What a great game he's having. Tamar Springfield, graduate, strong safety.
Yes.
Made a couple big plays already. Here's Nate Maul to throw on 2nd and forever. Downfield, it's incomplete. He was looking for Engstrom. He wanted the penalty, didn't get it.
I'll tell you, the Cougars are doing a good job playing man underneath. They have double safeties up top. But right here you can see they ran very well with the pass coming over the middle. Look at the coverage they had there. They had a man-to-man coverage underneath with safety over the top.
Do you run it here just to give Adrian a little room? Or are you trying to shoot downfield?
I'm probably going to try and get it downfield a little bit here, but
so will Nate. Here comes the blitz, long downfield, looking for Little. He could not spot the football. It was a decent throw, and Ryan even had a step on him. If he would have spotted that football, I believe he probably. And here comes the flag. kind of thrown in the area of the Saints, but that's going to be a big flag if it's an unsportsmanlike or anything like that.
Could be a sideline warning.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
The Cougars are doing a good job. They're funneling. You can tell they're playing double safety zone on top because they're funneling the receivers to the inside. That's the second time. Yeah, sideline warning.
Yep.
That's the second time we see the Saint receiver running the fade route, but get funneled to the inside, getting pushed to the inside, which really knocks off your timing of the fade. Again, you can see where he forced Little way inside. He's always inside the numbers almost. So it gives you the safety help, and it's hard to throw that fade pattern. Some good fundamentals by the Cougars showing here in their corner coverage.
All right, give Adrian a bit of room here, and he'll, I believe that return man is Bo Braun, 83. Second punt of the day coming up for Adrian Guerrero with 5:19 to go. We'll go over some of the other games in the MSFA today, all underway. Right after this punt. Gets it off. Ooh. Just in time. Angles right. Nice angle, but it kind of takes a Cougar hop, and Abubakar Berry had to down it inside positive territory for the Cougars, though. They're going to have great field position.
Got a little pressure up the middle that time.
Yeah, they're getting close. They are getting close. Lawrence Tech's out at Indiana Wesleyan today. Madonna's at Defiance and Siena Heights at Taylor. It's probably your best Mid-East game of the day. In the Midwest, Olivet Nazarene at St. Xavier. That's always a fun one. Judson's at Marion, and then our game here, St. Francis and St. Francis in the 9th edition of the Franciscan Bowl. I guess the other game to really keep an eye on would be Olivet Nazarene and St. Xavier today. Be a fun game out on the south side. Corner blitz, if they can get to him quickly enough, they do not. Out to Dandridge at the 41. Pushed out of bounds around the 35. Or I should say he was caught at the 36 and out of bounds at the 35. And not enough for the first down, so it's going to be second down and short.
He seems to be so in tune, their quarterback. The blitz comes from the outside. He throws a quick pass to the outside where the blitz was. That's the best place to find an open area is where the blitz came from. And he's just reading the defense so well right now.
On the ground to Wallace,
Good
tripped
play.
up in the backfield. He might have picked up an extra yard. Was it Mike Carver, I believe?
Yes.
First one in.
Boy, he closed down the line of scrimmage quick. Watch Carver come in here, close down the line of scrimmage. Right there, straight down the line, makes a tackle right around the ankles. Beautifully done.
Great line. Undersized but strong linebacker out of Montini.
Very smart. Plays very smart.
It was enough for the first down. They needed about 6 inches, and they did get it. Now they're going to go for the home run ball. Kolka, plenty of time. Into the back of the end zone. It is caught and touchdown. A beautiful throw by Kolka. Colin McPeak, his 4th touchdown of the season. Goes for about 35 yards on the beautiful throw from the graduate student quarterback. Just a strike downfield.
They ran those vertical routes and had the safety in no man's land. The safety came off, as you can see here, coming off to help with the slot man. And then he had to try to react back because he ran by the corner, had no help from the safety because of the slot receiver running the vertical route as well. And put St. Francis secondary in a bind there, and quarterback, of course, makes a great throw.
Extra point is true. 4:17 to go. It's 21-3. Saints need some offense.
Okay.
The yards have been there, but the points have not.
Well, that was, an outstanding throw and excellent routes being run there. I'm very impressed with the Cougars, how fundamentally sound they are in all facets of the game.
3-play, 45 yards thanks to their defense, and a big penalty on the Saints kind of really stunted that drive, backed them up into a 1st and 20 situation. They were unable to pass their way out of it. The punt was a bit short, ended up with a short field for the Cougars, and took them only 3 plays to go 45 yards. That's how big field position is.
Yes, it is. You get the penalty, you force the punt, you get pressure on the punter, force a short kick. And again, great execution by their offense to get the score.
Kolka's got 142 yards through the air already. The Saints have 140 combined total yards.
I'm impressed the way Kolka reads the defense.
Yeah.
And moves safeties with his eyes.
I mean, it comes with experience, right? He's been doing it for 5 years.
Yes,
for
exactly.
the Cougars.
And he's got good personnel to throw to.
All right, here, Carl. Need another touchdown from you here on special teams.
There it is.
Right up the hash marks. It's all speed now. Can he do it for the third time this season? Carl Bew houses another kickoff return. Unreal.
Unbelievable.
His third kickoff return for a touchdown. Electric.
They created a great seam for him to hit, and then he hit that seam and he was gone. How about the fact he outran those two deep safety men, and they had the angle on him. You can see it right there. Great wall right there, opened up a hole there, and then watch this. These guys he just ran right through them, right past the two safeties and into the end zone.
Carl Bew making a bid for the third special teams player of the week of the year.
That's amazing.
He has a 100-yarder, a 97-yarder, and now what did we say, about 95, 96 yards there?
Unbelievable.
Special teams, Carl Bew keeping the Saints in it, just getting number one the football. You got to get him the football one way or another. Hand it off to him, throw it to him, whatever you need to do to get number one the football.
Well, hopefully special teams here will give us a spark. That's a big play. Big play. Wow.
So, we were talking about the 3 games against the 3 quality opponents. I believe if memory serves, every touchdown that the Saints have had against St. Xavier, Indiana Wesleyan, St. Xavier Marion, and now St. Francis, Indiana, have come from Carl Bew on special teams.
Special teams. That is...
Look at him go again. Look at this.
He
was bracketed perfectly. Yeah,
he just ran right through him.
My goodness.
What speed, what athleticism. In the open field, he's unstoppable.
All right, defense going to have to make a play here, too, because they can't keep scoring touchdowns. Can't rely on Carl Bew to score a kickoff return touchdown every time here. Return, short kick. It's going to be a return from the 14-yard line, but well done. Raced down and tackled by, was that Aaron Larkins, the running back, making the special teams tackle, and he loves it.
You get your good athletes on those kick cover teams. That speed. Look at how fast Larkin is on this one. Look at the speed by 24 there.
It doesn't matter if you're a starting running back or a backup linebacker. You're playing special teams.
I mean, you're contributing. You're making a play. That's huge. Keep them inside the 30-yard line.
All right, little momentum. Hopefully a little energy for these Saints. See if they can make a play here defensively. First down for Kolka. We need him to make a mistake is what happens. Wallace, the carry. Great runner, gets it past the 30. You talk about Larry Stringham for St. Francis for the Saints, always falling forward, going downhill. We're seeing the same things here from Wallace, the running back for the Cougars.
Yeah, Wallace is a hard runner. Again, extremely patient. That's what I find. He waits and waits, and he sees an opening, and he gets up through it, and always getting positive yards. Like that looked like it was nothing, but he ended up getting 3 or 4 yards.
Moving pocket for Kolka. Checks it down, but it's knocked away. Beautifully done by Rob Baranowski to knock it away. Brings up 3rd down and 8. Again, prime tight end territory for St. Francis. Keep an eye on number 7, Chris Mullen, after that play.
Baranowski's very active, and they use him in a lot of different ways. He's really showing what he can do out here. They're getting a chance to play here. And
Baranowski is going to be right in the middle of that defense. Kind of the place they like to go when they need yardage is right where number 20 is standing right now.
Here comes that 5-man front.
Corners are off. They're going to rush 4. They drop another back in coverage, forcing Kolka out of the pocket, throws on the run, and has a man at the 48. If he's inbounds, it's a first down. He is. First down. Great play.
What a play by Kolka.
It was, and a nice catch by Adam Smith. His first catch, the Plainfield North product, leads the team in yardage. Finally finds his first grab of the game, and it's a third down conversion, a big one for the Cougars.
Boy,
Thought the Saints had him there.
what accuracy on the run Kolka made there. That was escaped out of the pressure and just threw a bullet.
Into Saint territory. Down the middle, wide open, just a hair overthrown. He was looking for Bo Braun and just missed him.
Again, Kolka seeing the two safeties. He's going to attack the middle of the field.
One of the keys of the game for Coach Curry was to try to get to Kolka. I don't think he's felt any kind of real pressure today. Definitely hasn't been hit. Plenty of time again for Kolka. Going for another home run. He's wide open. Touchdown. They are major struggles deep downfield. This Saints defense is. A touchdown from McPeak again. Wide open.
As you can see, plenty of time. Four-man front. They ran those vertical routes again.
You see the number one, Crosley McCutcheon, the wide receiver, had his hands up in the air before the ball even came down. De Leon the extra point.
Yeah, he had
It's good.
I bet he had over almost 3 seconds to throw that ball. He had plenty of time. Let that route develop. He's doing an excellent job of looking off the secondary.
48-yard touchdown to McPeak. 211 passing yards so far for Kolka. And we got 2:41 to go in the first half. McPeak with a touchdown. Again, he's got 2 today now. And the Saints defense going to have to figure out how to guard that deep ball.
Well, let's pick your poison.
Yep.
I mean, the Saints are doing everything they can when they have their four-man and two safeties, four-man front with two safeties deep. You know, Kolka is able to take advantage of the middle of the field, and then when they go to the three-deep zone with the three-man front, they take advantage of running the ball. So it's, you know, it's kind of like pick your poison against these Cougars. They're very well coached, and quarterback just seems to seize the field so very well.
See if they give Carl Bew even the whiff of a chance to return this one here. They do. Much higher hang time on this one, though, but a shorter kick from the 6-yard line. Not a lot of space out there for Carl along the sideline. He brought down around the 25.
Yeah, that time they tried to pin him into the sideline. You're right, Dick. They weren't going to give him the ball in the middle of the field.
And on comes Nate Mall and company. This offense needs to find a way to contribute on the scoreboard.
We got 2:37. We got all our timeouts left.
Gavin Dale will be out there as the tailback with Nate Mall. Ryan Little. It's going to be one-on-one out here. We got two safeties on the field, but see if they go his way. Greg Holmes is on him.
See how they're turning? They're going to force him to the inside.
They're going to go to Ryan on the inside cut anyway. He'll run over a few Cougars to the 35-yard line for a first down.
Good play call there to run more of a slant instead of the fade. They're giving you the inside, as you can see there. And he makes a nice little slant move, and the ball's right on target, right on time.
Holmes will be right up on Ryan Little this play. Connor Engstrom all alone in the middle of the field. He'll dive for 13 yards and a first down.
Got some rhythm in the offense now.
2-minute warning coming up.
That's about the third time that the pass over the middle. Curl area right over the center has been open a few times, and it's great to see Nate take advantage of it there. Move the ball for a first down. As you can see there, Linebackers bail out, and right there between the two linebackers, you have a nice spot, soft spot in that zone, and Nate takes advantage of it. The extra.
2-minute warning here in the first half. 211 passing yards for Josh Kulka and the Cougars, 85 on the ground. St. Francis with now 102 through the air, 60 on the ground. Been a pretty clean game, penalty-wise. Both teams with a pair of penalties. Both teams picking up 3 of their third down opportunities. 3 for 6 for the Cougars, 3 out of 9 for the Saints.
3 out of 9. That's a crucial stat right there. A lot of that's when we got kind of down near the goal line.
2 minutes on the clock. A touchdown on the board going into halftime would be gigantic. The clouds start to thicken up here in Joliet. Thanks for listening wherever you are. If you're alumni across the country here for the Saints, if you're listening out in the Fort Wayne area, thanks for spending a bit of your afternoon with us. Day is the tailback in the pistol formation. They're going to move Friddle to the left. Oh, they snapped the ball. Nobody knew it was coming. Still loose, still loose, still loose.
Right.
The Saints jump on it at the 21-yard line on first down. And they're going to blow the play dead here. Timeout called by St. Francis, Indiana.
Now that we have this huge change in field position on the botched snap, they're going to use their timeouts to try and get a score before half.
I think what happened there, Coach, was the center, Anthony Nichikowski, saw the play clock ticking down and just let it rip.
Yeah, if you see that nobody's prepared for that snap. As you look here, he just snapped it. Look at.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we don't have a play clock on the review there, but Coach Curry's going to go talk to some of the officials as well. He thought maybe the play clock should have been reset for some reason. I would love to hear that conversation right now. It's been a long time since we've seen something like that. There had to be some kind of extenuating circumstance. And Nichikowski came to the sideline, kind of his palms up. He's like, Coach, I'm not exactly sure what he said, but he had some kind of reason for what he did there. Not that he heard Nate Mall, call for the snap or anything, but either case, it's a huge deficit in yardage for St. Francis for the Saints. And when you're chasing this many points against a good offense, that's the last thing you need.
Right.
Not a penalty, but pretty much the same effect. Mental mistake costing you yardage. Snap back to Nate, give to Day. He's wrapped up immediately. The defensive tackle and D ends right there on him.
They're going to use their timeouts. The Cougars are now.
Some great defensive line play from these Cougars up front, and they are big. Defensive tackles, Matthews and Weiler on that play, averaging around 290 up front.
They're quick, too.
Big James Matthews up front for the Cougars. He's a defensive tackle, 6'3", 334. And we've already talked about their very athletic defensive ends who can get after the quarterback with the best of them in the NAIA.
Yeah, they're very sound, both offensively and defensively. But we can't, shoot ourselves in the foot like this and give them these opportunities.
Cougars have had 2 fewer plays than the Saints, but nearly 300 yards, 296 compared to 138 for the Saints. It's unable to find anything to really be too effective. The game started well for the Saints. They were running the football. Nate Mall was getting it to some of the playmakers, but adjustments have been made.
Well, now with the score, with the Cougars being able to make some big plays on offense, you almost take the running game out of the game plan.
Now just running it for field position here.
They used their last time out.
A lot of jawing back and forth, too, especially between Jake Friddle and the defensive end, Shamar Smith for the Cougars. Final timeout, and there's a flag called. I think they're going to call it on the Cougars. It must have said one of the magic words there, Coach.
Yes, must have.
It'll move the line of scrimmage up to the Saint 40, which is still going to be 17 yards shy of the first down. And what you don't want to do is get into just a shouting match here, especially when you're getting beat by 18.
No, you don't want to get into any of those things. Just play ball.
We're not really in a hurry to operate here, are we?
It's 50 years.
Still haven't moved the football. They give him the first down. Oh, is an unsportsmanlike an automatic first down?
Unsportsmanlike conduct's the first down. That's you got a mixed crew here, so I think they just want to make sure they get everything straight. But yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct is an automatic first.
Okay, well there you go. $144 to play with. No timeouts for the Cougars. They wasted all of those before the unsportsmanlike penalty first down.
Talk about a costly penalty for the Cougars.
Yeah, they could have got the ball back and scored again.
Now we got 144 and 3 timeouts. We can get back on the attack here.
Just don't turn it over here. My skeptic mind is is crawling through. I'm sorry. 4-man rush. Nate Mall finds Ryan Little on the crossing route inside Cougar territory to the 48 and a first down.
It's the same route they hit him to start this drive, at this 2-minute drive. Quick slant. He's getting the inside release, and they're taking advantage of it.
This bickering back and forth kind of sparked both teams again, and we'll see who's going to take advantage of it. Nate Mall throwing across his body on the run, and a dangerous throw downfield, incomplete, looking for Ryan Little, the intended receiver.
Well, then Ryan ran a post route, and then the slot back come around running the wheel route. They're playing a soft coverage. They're able to pick that up pretty easily there.
Carl Bew, I'm looking for him on these kind of plays that he had to come out. Gavin Day, the tail here in the pistol. Carl Bew kind of holding his ribs a little bit. I think he'll be okay. Second down and 10. Jump pass is picked off. Nate Mall is the one who has to track him down and stop the return around the 20-yard line. He was looking for Friddle, and another penalty flag comes in. See what
they
you
ran
see.
Friddle on a quick out route, and he was just – the corner did a great job of baiting him. Again, the way they're lining up and they're driving the wide receivers to the inside, they're squatting there. They're playing underneath coverage. They're not going to run deep. They're forcing them inside to give them to the safety. We did not read that time. We did not read that the corner was going to stay in the flat, and he stepped up and picked the ball off there.
And a personal foul penalty on top of that for the Saints. 1:14 to go in the half.
It was obvious that Nate was thinking the corner was going to run with the wide receiver, but they haven't done that most of the day. They will drive the receiver to the inside, give it to the safety, then they'll sit in that zone, that underneath zone, and he was right there to make the interception.
First and goal at the 10. The blitz is on. And a touchdown on one play from 10 yards out. Adam Smith picks up another touchdown, his third of the season.
Yeah, in the middle of the field.
Just
kind of
released.
snuck in behind the safety there. They had the inside receiver was running to the outside. It drew the safeties to the outside a little bit and opened up the middle. And again, the ball perfectly placed.
Extra point is plenty. 35-10, getting a bit out of hand here in the first half. Big penalty at the end of that. St. Francis was the Saints given an opportunity there with a unsportsmanlike penalty, an automatic first down. But an interception and then another touchdown, another penalty on the Saints. A personal foul gave the Cougars the ball at the 10. And Josh Kulka is just surgical today.
Yeah, if they going back to that touchdown, I think that the corner does an excellent job of baiting that throw, and totally fooled Nate. He thought the corner was going to run off with his wide receiver and open up Friddle in the flat, but did a great job of what they call squat coverage, where the corner looks like he's going deep, but then he squats and sits in that area, and totally fooled the Saints on that one.
Short pooch kick. We see Guerrero do this all the time. That's a live ball. And Larkins. Larkins takes the football and the hit at the end of it.
That's smart play there. Keep the ball away from Bew.
Yep.
A little dump kick there. That's, like you said, is a free ball. Possibility of recovery. Kind of like a dead spot there in the return team.
1:10 to go. I still think you got to find a way to get the ball to number one. You got to find a way to get the ball to probably the best playmaker on the team somehow. And it might be just by snapping it to him.
That's what it looks like here. Or they got two quarterbacks.
It's going to be Sorensen out there as the quarterback, and Carl Bew is going to be among the trio of receivers left. So they're trying something here, Coach.
Sorensen can run.
He's a runner, yeah. They just like to run it with Johnny. They go right up the middle to the 30 to pick up about
See
3.
if we get some urgency here and see if we can try and get a score.
Let's just see if you can avoid a penalty here. Don't get baited into a personal foul or unsportsmanlike.
I don't know. We don't seem to be in that big a hurry.
Well,
right
they
now.
don't. They picked up 4 on the play. They do have all 3 timeouts still.
Watch the screen out here to Bew.
Not this time. String them.
They're setting it up. They got a little series here where you got the string them. They can run off the right. You got your quarterback that can run up the middle or to the left, and you got your screen pass out here to the left of Bew.
I'm just nervous they're thinking the same thing.
We have 3 timeouts.
And there's 1 cornerback there. 3 safeties are deep. So if they do want to throw the screen, it should be open here. They're going to run it with Johnny. Carl wanted it. You see Carl there? Johnny is able to pick up the first down, though.
Yeah, he did. It looks like it might be an RPO situation where he's going to read it, and then he could run it, give it, or throw the screen. He's got like a triple option on that.
And they're just going to let the final 12 seconds tick off here.
Be interesting to see if that in the second half, if they use that formation again.
Started promising for the Saints, ended in disaster, 35-10. Thankfully, they have a second half to start to figure some things out. They did do some things well. Got to find a way to replicate that. We'll take a little break here at halftime as well. When we come back, we'll give you some halftime numbers and see if the Saints can figure it out on offense. You're watching St. Francis football on the USF Sports TV Network. Welcome back to Joliet Memorial Stadium, 35-10. The Cougars on top of the Saints in the Battle of USFs, the Franciscan Bowl here today. Take a look at some halftime numbers. Josh Kolka through the air has been pretty good today. 12 for 18, 221 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. The knock on Kolka coming in was he's very efficient. He's got a great ball, but he can throw an interception or two. We haven't quite seen that here today. He does have 9 picks coming into the game, but so far a very clean game from Josh Kolka today. And he's got many different targets. 7 receivers for the Cougars have caught at least 1 pass. Their tight end Mullen had a big first couple of series with 3 catches for 45 yards. He's been pretty quiet since then after his first touchdown. McPeak, number 6, 2 catches, 82 yards and 2 touchdowns. Adam Smith has 2 catches for 31 yards and a 21-yard touchdown as well. For the Saints, Nate Mall is 15 for 24, no touchdowns, 1 interception for 114 yards. But the picture we're looking at right now here, Coach, is probably telling you the story, what we got coming up. Seeing Carl Bew taking warm-up throws before we get into our second half.
Yeah, both him and Sorensen were doing that earlier, and I didn't see Nate. Nate was just kind of standing off to the side, so you're right. This could be telling right here.
I think we're going to see number 1 here take the reins of the offense here in the second half. He's already been electric and has impacted the game with a kickoff return for a touchdown. The Saints' only touchdown of the game so far. On the ground, Larry Stringham, 6 carries, 33 yards. Nate Malls carried it 3 times for 17. Abubakar Berry, 3 carries for 10 yards today. Gavin Day, Sorensen, Bew, Larkins all have a carry today, as well as the Saints just really struggle to find something that's going to work offensively. If anything else, it's going to be different. They are trying something new, it would appear, as we go into the second half. What does Carl Bew, how does he change the offense for St. Francis?
Well, we all know his ability to run. He's extremely fast. He can run a whole option type offense with the RPOs. Obviously, they need to throw the ball in the second half too to try and get back into it. But I think they're just going to come in and just run his offense. You'll see him carry the ball quite often and use that to set up the passing game. And it gives you an extra running back in the backfield. So we'll see how that, what kind of package that Coach McCarthy has for Carl when he's the quarterback. But you also had Sorensen that was warming up too. So they got a couple guys that are both good runners and passers. And I feel bad. I feel bad for Nate, but if you're going to work on something, this is the time to do it. If you got a package for Bew, this is the time to work on it. First of all, he's going to
return the kick first.
Yeah,
because Saints do get the ball here to start our second half. Also, weather update, expecting a bit of rain. Actually, I see some umbrellas already starting to come out here as our camera crew protects the equipment and the fans protect themselves as some of the light rain starts to fall here in Joliet, which also may have an effect on how the offenses play out. Saints will get the ball first, and I'll tell you this, they need something good to happen out of the gate to get some energy and momentum back here in this game. Congratulations to our cheer and dance crew celebrating their senior day as well, and the Cougars fans making their way out from Fort Wayne, Indiana today. Short kick, not even giving Carl a chance. It'll be Larry Stringham right up the middle, bulldozing over a few special teamers out to the 36, 37-yard line or so, giving Carl Bew and company some decent field position to start the second half.
Yeah, look. Stringham, he's just, he's always going forward, that guy. He's a tough runner.
All right, see if Carl Bew can rally the troops offensively. Nate Sorensen will be out there as well. He'll take a spot as a wide receiver. Sorensen, the third string, now probably backup quarterback. Or Nate Mall might still be the backup if Carl needs a breather. First snap back to Carl. It'll be a give. Up to the 40-yard line, only about 3 yards there. And an injured Cougar on the Larry Stringham carry. I would be injured quite a bit too if I saw Larry Stringham running at me like that. Got him a little bit below the waist there. Looks like he's going to be okay. Pickup of 3, 2nd and 7. First possession of our second half. Carl Bew, the redshirt sophomore, taking over at quarterback. Just a keeper, straight run, and they saw that one coming a mile away, didn't they, Coach?
Yes, they did. And again, they're trying to reach block everybody out here like outside zone. And there was a lane created for the linebacker to shoot it, and he came through clean and was able to get to Bew before he could even get started.
Loss of 6 on the quarterback
you
carry.
can see here, it was a defensive lineman that just beat the guard.
That was Marquise Cross, a big problem on defense. 4.5 sacks and now 10.5 tackles for a loss. 3rd and long now for the Saints. The linebackers creeping up, playing the run. They're going to go long to Little. He was pretty much tackled, and the referee got to give him a second. He's reaching for the flag. There it is. Now, the reason you did not see that flag come out from the official right in front of that play is because Frenzy's got one arm. He is a right arm amputee, and he was looking for that flag with his left hand. He just couldn't quite get there, and we did see him reaching for it. So it's not like he was not going to call it. He was.
Right. And that time, as you look, the corner now is giving him an outside release, so he's going to run with him all the way.
Pretty
they cover him on the fade there, and then he makes the penalty, interference penalty. But
yeah, move the sticks here, don't we? Oh, they just haven't marked it off yet officially. Okay. But yeah, that was a pretty clear pass interference, and that will move the ball to the 49 and a first down for the Saints.
Got a cornerback, the way he's shading the receiver is telling you if he's man-to-man or if he's playing zone.
Little definitely has the size advantage on the outside. See if one of those 2 deep safeties shade to his side. They certainly do.
That's a man-to-man.
Down the middle and incomplete. Ryan Little wanted a flag and got another one. 2 pass interference penalties in a row. And Greg Holmes, the cornerback, can't believe it. He's going to go have a little word with the official.
I think he grabbed a little jersey there as he beat him to the inside. They're playing man-to-man again.
Another flag comes out. This one came out. I think it might be some more jawing from the Cougars. I don't know. We'll have to see what the officials think about the second flag after the play was dead.
Most likely an unsportsmanlike again.
This will be 3 consecutive penalties. Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct on the Cougars. So 2 pass interference penalties and an unsportsmanlike penalty back to back to back. And there's the new head coach, Adam Sherman, looking and say, guys, what is happening here?
Now they got to mark off. You mark off an unsportsmanlike penalty, you mark off both penalties. So the pass interference was walked off first, and now they just walked off the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
They did. Okay, yeah, both pass interferences. Yep.
Yep. Because the unsportsmanlike was a dead ball foul.
Yep. All right, first down for the Saints. A golden opportunity. Stringham. Nope. Bew keeper. Look at that. Bew to the 5. First and goal.
Yeah, when you mentioned earlier before we started the second half, you said what could Bew bring to the offense, and there it is.
That's it.
That's it.
A little bit of Sam Tumulty.
Yes, very similar to the offense we saw last year.
Fake to him again.
He's in.
Carl again. Great block on the outside. Touchdown. Saints back in it. Look at the excitement from number 1. So let's go, boys.
Well, you know what? When you have the ability to run from the quarterback spot, linebackers are reacting to string them, and then it creates a big gap for our quarterback to run off the read. As you can see here, he's going to go here. The linebackers will react this way, and look at the hole that opens up.
And a great block. Wide receiver coming in making the inside block.
So you get the linebacker going with Stringham. You get a good block, as you said, on the line of scrimmage, and there's no linebacker to fill, and you got the speed of Carl Bew. Excellent.
And now the defense has to find a way to slow down Josh Kolka and company. Carl Bew, I believe, has scored 4 of the last 4 touchdowns for the Saints, only one of them being offensive, and that one being the last one. I just want to see if he's on the kickoff team, too. He's not. I'm just to be clear.
Well, now he's got to get in that tent with Coach McCarthy now and go over the.
All right now he's talking with Coach Pringle. There's Carl talking to Justin Pringle.
Yep.
There's 2 great MSFA offensive players in the last few years right there. All right, a little bit of energy's been injected here. You feel it?
Yep.
Cougars almost gifted the Saints that with 3 consecutive penalties. Return will be from the 5-yard line for the Cougs. Back out to the numbers. A big hit by Guerrero, the kicker, at the end of the play. Dandridge, the return man.
Look at that. We ought to get Guerrero somebody to go get the tee for him. He has to kick it,
and
make a tackle, and then he's got to sprint down the other end to get the tee.
Let's watch Guerrero because it's going to be coming right at you here. There's Dandridge, the return.
Look at him lower the boom.
I love it.
Now turn around and go get the tee.
And he didn't hesitate. He knew his assignment there too, didn't he? All right, here we go. Are the Cougars going to keep the lead, or the defense going to help out the offense here for the Saints? 3 linemen, 3 linebackers. Play action outside. May have been tipped at the line. It was completed, though.
Yep.
It's a pickup of 4 to the 34-yard line.
Again, just a little quick hitch route off the play action.
McPeak, the catch on the ground there. 2nd down. Don't get beat deep.
3 receivers into the boundary here. They're going to try and isolate the receiver up on top. There it is.
Kolka
he's trying to do it.
Going outside and
good
well
coverage.
Overthrown, incomplete. Even if there was a held jersey, that ball was uncatchable.
Well, we saw him put 3 receivers down here to the short side of the field, and they're going to try and isolate their receiver one-on-one with the whole 2/3 of the field to work with.
They're down here. How about a 3-and-out here from this defense to keep the energy high for the Saints? You got to look for their tight end. Their big tight end, Mullen, is slot right.
They're bringing the 5. Look out for the middle of the field. One of the slot receivers over the middle.
Baranowski follows the tight end, but he goes up and makes a heck of a grab. Baranowski knew it was coming.
He was covering them, but
he used all 6'4" of his frame to go up and get that one.
That was a player that you mentioned before the broadcast to look out for is number 7, a good tight end, and there it is. With that height.
They played it well. It was defended perfectly. Just Mullen, Chris Mullen, a fantastic big-bodied tight end.
You got double stacks here.
Wallace on the ground, and the hole's filled up quite quickly with gold jerseys. Pickup of 3.5 or so.
Yeah, they ran the ball inside, but both receivers faked screens. If you look here, see how they step back so he could come off of that play fake and hit any one of those 2 screens there. See if they come back to that. Pistol formation.
Yep, Wallace the tailback. Chris Mullen slot left.
5-man line again.
Play action. They're going to try to bring a little pressure. They flush him out right on the run and finds their open man again downfield. What a great job by Kolka just to give his receivers time to get open, and he finds Dandridge.
Well, again, the pressure forced him out of the pocket, but as he's looking in the middle of the field, as you can see, his receiver reacts and slides with the quarterback. He comes and works with him to get open. The scramble drill.
Trips receivers right. Kolka rolls left. Looking one-on-one for Dandridge downfield. He has separation. but incomplete. Could have been an offensive pass interference with a
Yeah.
bit of a push off there, but it was incomplete.
Yeah, definitely. Looked like we might have pushed off on that one.
Inside
Yeah.
field goal. Yep, you see that?
Yeah, a little push off there.
2nd down and 10. Fake screen. Looking downfield. They got to keep covering. Here comes pressure. Hit as he's thrown. It's in the air. And intercepted by the Saints. He stays in the end zone for the touchback. A big interception from Nate Shute to take the ball away. His 3rd pick of the season. The 10th interception from Kolka for the Cougars. And it's exactly what the Saints needed. A score and a takeaway.
Yep. Yeah, so they ended up again. You can see we got help in the middle of the field that we didn't have before. Now we get pressure, and we're going to see that it's double covered. Right there, tip ball, excellent catch. But the key to that was the Saints changed up their coverage again, putting Baranowski in the middle of the field as a deep middle safety, and that took the middle of the field away, forced the quarterback to scramble out with pressure and throw the interception.
14th interception for the Saints defense. And there goes Carl Bew again on the quarterback keeper. Ran in the back of his own blocker, but a flag comes in behind the defense on the play. It's a pickup of about 7 or 8 as it stands. Given the spot of that flag coming from behind the defense, what do you think that could be?
I don't know. Maybe a holding on the edge there by the Saints, I would think. Outside receiver, they might have called for a holding.
Hackman out there, I believe. It's going to go against St. Francis, the Saints, that is. Oh, killer.
From the spot.
It is a holding on the Saints. Oh, just when you get momentum going. We talked about this before, how penalties are drive killers.
It's from the spot, so probably end up being 1st or 2nd down and 12, I would think.
Yeah, the foul happened around the 28-yard line at the end of the run. So mark off 10 from there. It'll be back to the 18, so 1st down and 12.
First down and 12, yes.
I believe it was Stringham on the carry. Picks up about 3, maybe 4. No, Barry. It's Abubakar Barry, pardon me, on the carry. 9:44 to go, 3rd quarter. A big change here at the halftime. Saints going with the new quarterback in Carl Bew. Fake to Larry. Carl, the keeper, around the edge. Look at the speed from Carl. A 1st down saving tackle made by the Cougars at the 29. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Well, here again, as you can see, the fake to Barry draws the linebackers in. It allows our quarterback Bew to run around the left end there. Good blocking at the point of attack by the Saints.
Corners sneaking in for the cornerback blitz. Carl sees it. It's going to reset his offense after he sees the blitz coming.
Run a quarterback power here, just right off tackle.
Exactly what happens. Carl breaks through for the 1st to the 36-yard line.
I tell you what, Bew reading the defensive front the way he's reading it, he can hand it to Barry or keep it himself, and it's just opening so many running lanes now for the Saints.
Carl wants to throw it this time. It's going to go long to Little. Diving, makes the catch. Oh, Ryan Little, it's amazing. Yes, it is a catch. We were talking about Ryan Little before this game, making one-handed catches with those huge paws of his, and it just comes to fruition in the game at the right time. Look at the incredible catch That's a Sports Center top 10 if I've ever seen one.
Without a doubt. That's as good a catch as I've ever seen. That was fantastic.
Saints rolling here on this drive. 1st and 10 at the 29. Or make it 34. Oh, pressure on Bew. He escapes and down he goes. Jumping on him from the back, the defensive end, Shamar Smith had his T-shirt ripped off from behind. He's going to have to at least tear that off. I don't want him to trip on it.
Yeah, right from the backside, they got immediate pressure. And
loss of 6 on the play, back to the 40. They need to get to the 24.
Bew looks like he's dressed for his old flag football days, the way he looks out there.
Just don't trip on it. Abubakar Berry to Bew's right. Fake to Berry, sneaks through. Carl to the 31.
He's getting 6-7 yards.
That's a pickup
Every
of
carry
10.
off of that. Again, it's the fake to the running back to draw the attention of the linebackers. There's the linebacker, and then you got the lead block coming right up through. Beautiful.
Snap to Carl, rolling left. He wants to throw it this time. There's no one on that side of the field for him to throw to. Turns it upfield, though, and runs with it for a first down. Carl Bew doing it with his legs. A little slower to get up than usual here, but we have a Cougar down as well in the secondary.
That was similar to the play we saw earlier in the first half when they had Nate rolling out. Now they got Carl rolling out, and that gives you that added pressure of the edge defense because he could take off running and get you just as many yards as he would if he threw the ball. What a weapon.
Injury timeout to attend to one of the Cougars. That's the defensive back, the cornerback Elijah Hunter, sophomore out of Indianapolis, one of the 2 members of the Cougar defense with 3 interceptions.
When you have a quarterback that has the ability to run like that, so you can roll out and throw or run on the edge, you can hand it off or RPO it and run. It's like playing with the 12th man. You got to try and figure a way to defend him as another running back.
I can't wait to see this catch from Ryan Little again, too. If you missed it earlier, take a look at one of the best catches you're going to see. There's Ryan diving with the right hand, pinning it against his shoulder.
I tried to.
Expertly spot lit. Here we go, 1st and 10.
I apologize to people I've played. I got a new toy. And I'm trying to.
Sorensen motions in the jet. They give to Johnny, but he's tracked down behind the line of scrimmage and rolled backward. It was Joshua Naziza, one of those spectacular defensive ends they have for the Cougars.
The lateral speed of the Cougars, really tough to run those jet sweeps.
Yeah. You just got to find a hole and go vertical on them.
Yeah, I like Bew either giving or faking, and those 2 guys attacking off tackle. You got Stringham, and you got Bew.
See one-on-one here with Little in the cornerback who's up tight. Safety on his side, likely will shade. Carl's looking his way pre-snap. They give to Larry, though. Cuts it back up the middle. Hit it at the 20. Oh, and bent backward. Hit by one of those gigantic defensive tackles.
That was Nate. That was his leg bent.
That might have just ended Larry Stringham's season. Oh.
What a terrible.
And he's. That was the big defensive tackle, Nate Johnson, who flattened him at the end of that play.
And then he just gets bent backwards. It's pretty ugly here. Oh.
That's a
that ankle. Look, I hope it. That could be a high ankle.
And Larry Stringham was the most effective rusher for the Saints.
Bet here you see his ankle get bent right there.
And he's doing pretty well just to even walk off the field under his own power with just barely a limp. That are you kidding me?
Strong kid.
Are you serious?
Strong kid there, I'll tell you.
Oh my God, how is he walking off? Barely a limp. I mean, he's got to be in there. Now it's starting to hit him a little bit. Larry's been invaluable to this offense, but now it's going to be Gavin Day
Pistol look here. No, Day's going to shift over to the left.
3rd and long, 3rd down and 12. They need to get to the 13 for a first down. Carl whips it to the end zone. One-on-one for Little, knocked away last second. That's a heck of a play by Elijah Hunter.
Yep, they're playing more man-to-man on the corners this half.
I like that throw any day of the week.
Look at the great leverage by the defensive back here. As soon as he sees Little turn to the ball, he sees his eyes get big as the ball's coming at him. He turns and faces the ball and knocks it down to keep from getting a pass interference penalty.
42-yard attempt coming up. 46 is his longest of the season. That punt or the kick block is coming hard right up the middle. Good snap, hold down. Plenty of leg from Guerrero. Did he hook it in the left upright? He did not. Oh. Had a chance to sneak in another 3 to make it a 35-20. It will remain 35-17. You got to come away with points almost every single time now.
It's getting a little chippy down there.
It's been chippy for a
while.
Yeah.
Cougars, they just play ended. They came over and just knocked Friddle well after the play, knocked him down, and nothing called there. They didn't see that.
Yeah, it's scary too, because if you start allowing that to happen, it's just going to keep happening.
Yeah.
And then emotions are going to get higher and higher. They've already called several unsportsmanlike penalties on both teams. All right, defense going to have to make another play here. They gave the offense a chance, but came up empty on a Nate Shute interception. You don't think Kulka's going to make some, but here comes the blitz. Trying to get Wallace in the backfield, and they do. Carson Hansen among the Saints there to put an end to that. The team's leader in tackles for a loss.
They brought a little delay blitz here, brought him from the backside. And Carson chased him down, makes a play.
Rain just spitting a little bit outside, a little drizzle. Cold drizzle in the low to mid 40s today.
There's their 5-man line again.
See if they're going to throw on that, though. They better drop a few. They're not. They're going to bring it. They throw it to the boundary, but a good tackle by Nate Shute as the helmet pops off of Dandridge, who's slow to get up for the Cougars.
Just a quick hitch again. That ball comes out quick. Kulka really is a quick trigger, boy. He gets the ball out there fast. He makes quick decisions. It's tough to defend.
Another 3rd down for the Cougars. They are 4 for 7 on 3rd down. Pretty good percentage. Their tight end is their go-to guy in this situation. They don't get to him, and that means there's a wide open receiver downfield, and guess who it is? Tight end Chris Mullen for another 1st down reception.
Wallace does a good job, the running back for the Cougars, of picking up the blitz here. As you can see, you're going to see Baranowski come through and look at him pick a block up right there. Steps into the hole, picks up the blitz, allows time for Kukla to make the throw.
Give to Wallace. Cut off by Baranowski, but he still finds a nice hole. Pick up about 6. They're going to get it out to about the 44-yard line. Pick up of 6, 2nd and 4. They got to make some stops. They got a lot of points to make up here.
Boy, they set the Cougars set the edge there. They walled off the Saints' front line and gave them a good gap. Even though Baranowski made a great play to the ball, the hole was already there.
Larry Stringham testing out that ankle. It's unbelievable. Here's Kulka to throw. Fires down the middle, looking for his big target. Oh, and he dropped it. That ball was right on the money for Chris Mullen, and he dropped it. 3rd down coming up for the Cougars. That's a gift for the Saints.
I'll tell you, the accuracy of Kulka is amazing. I mean, he was well covered. Look at the coverage we had on him there, and he still puts the ball in that tiny window.
Look for number 7 again. He's been open on 3rd downs. He was open that last play. Someone's got to guard number 7 up high. They throw that ball up high for him to go get it. He's triple covered, and that's why he's wide open. 1st down Cougars It goes to McCutcheon. They had 3 defenders on Mullen on the play.
Well, that time the Saints gave that 5-man look, but they only rushed 3. They dropped the 2 outside linebackers, and he was still able to find. Look at the coverage. We had excellent coverage to start with, but Cook was able to buy time. And as soon as he rolled to his right, the receivers reacted, responded. They mirrored him, moved with him, and found an open window for him to throw in.
2.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Run pass option is a run to Wallace, who runs over a Saint there at the point of attack and pushes the pile to the 40. That's 6 yards on the first down run.
You see his patience again. Gets behind those linemen, takes his time. Watch here. Waits. Now. Then he hits it and he reads that. It gets positive yards, runs through some players, but his patience is excellent. He creates a situation where he's always getting 5 or 6 yards.
Second down. They gave him 7. Second down and 3. Why wouldn't you give it to Wallace again? First down, Cougars to the 35.
Cougars are starting to move the Saints defensive line now too. I don't know if they're wearing them down, but boy, they're starting to get a push. Did you see that line of scrimmage move 2-3 yards? Look at her. Look at the push they got there. Look at that push. 3-4 yards down the field.
Time of possession has really favored the Saints here today, though. 25 minutes for the Saints, 15 for the Cougars. A lot of quick strikes.
Yes, yes.
First down, blitz coming from the Saints. They do not get to him. Out to Dandridge. Breaks a tackle, but I think he stepped out of bounds. They just have an answer for everything the Saints run at them.
They run this. They've been running this route all day, where the outside receiver is going to look like he's going to run a fade, and then he just hitches, stops. Here comes the blitz. The timing, he's so quick getting the ball off. It's a big play. They seem to know and understand when the blitz is coming, where it's coming from, and be able to hit the open man with a quick release. There we go.
That's a good tackle for maybe not. Oh, look at him go. Wallace had him dead to rights, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but was able to make another 2 out of it. 3rd and 2 on the way. The weather may have played a factor in that one.
He's such a strong lower body. Watch here. Look at the level. He's so low, his hips are low, and he just runs through, twist and turn. You got to wrap and keep your legs driving to make a tackle. You can't stop your feet when you're going to try and tackle that guy.
I think it was Marcello Bernardi, one of those seniors, who just couldn't get a good grip on him to bring him down. 3rd down and 2. Big formation, 2 tight ends to the right. They give to Wallace, and he'll pick up the first down. Like you said, that offensive line is going to work on this drive for the Cougars. The final 8 seconds of the quarter.
It's just a basic inside zone. They're just man on man, and they're just driving the Saints off the line of scrimmage.
And that'll bring us to the end of the 3rd.
Yep.
We'll be back in 60 seconds. Final 4th. See if this defense can get off the field and give Carl Bew another crack at it on offense on the USF Sports TV network.
It's a small school, but it's mighty in that it changes your life when you go here.
The experiences that I gained and the life lessons that I learned while I was here are something that I continue to carry with me. I'm proud to hold 4 degrees from the university. I wouldn't have gone back time and time again if I didn't think that this was a quality education.
No matter where you are in life, with the right people, the right school, and the right support, you can do anything.
Your career is limitless after you go to the University of St. Francis.
Well, Josh Kulka and this St. Francis Cougar offense having a day through the air. 19 for 29, 293 yards and 4 touchdowns, and they're driving right now to try to keep this lead big in the final 15. They're going to flip the play, turn it into more of a running formation. Tight end and wide receiver left, Wallace the carry. They collapse on the run, and they get him behind the line. Maybe no gain on that play.
Great shot by the Saints getting penetration there. That's the only way you can stop Wallace is to stop him before he gets going.
Yeah, he got to
get him in the backfield, make him make people miss in the backfield. Don't let him get that downhill charge. Penetration is the key here for our defense to slow that running game down.
No gain on the run. 2nd and 10, 21-yard line. Saints shifting themselves.
5-man line. Here comes the extra blitz.
They're going to blitz, but Kolka's been very good. It's picked up, and he's going to roll left, wide open. Nobody near him at the 5-yard line. Chopped down right there by Shute, but every time they bring a blitz, coach, number one, it gets picked up by the offensive line and running back, and Kolka's able to find the open guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Wallace did a great job again picking up the blitz, the extra man. Kolka keeps the play alive and always seems to find the open man. They really react to the situation when he's scrambling.
Wallace fighting for that goal line. He'll be short of it, but it's going to be 2nd and goal at about the 1.5.
Boy, the Saints are battling. I mean, they got him wrapped up. He's just such a hard player to bring down. Look at how low to gravity he is, how short he is and strong, and just very difficult to tackle.
That defense has to be gassed. Wallace pushes in for the 5th touchdown. Put another 7 on the board.
I'm real impressed with Baranowski for the Saints. Boy, he plays hard. He's all over the place. He was in on that tackle again. But the strength of Wallace, as you can see here, see it. Watch now. Watch. There's Baranowski right there and just can't drag him down.
6th touchdown, just the 2nd rushing touchdown of the game for the Cougars. The extra point nearly blocked by Nate Shute, but it's up and through. And Carl Bue's been electric here in the second half in that 3rd quarter, but it's just a pretty big mountain to climb here for the Saints.
Well, the Saints are playing hard. I'm impressed with their continual effort. I mean, they're getting after it. They're just playing against a really talented group of Cougars here. Particularly their quarterback and their running back and their tight end have been very impressive today.
And now I don't know if do you rely on Carl Bue running the ball at this point?
Well, yeah, it's a difficult situation. There's 13 minutes left in the game. You're down quite a bit here. I think you run the offense. I'd really like to see him continue to work this offense with Bue. It really gave us a spark earlier, but the fact that he could run, the guy's returned 3 kickoffs for touchdowns. He could bust a run just as much as he could throw a deep pass, And
by the way, number 30's back on the field in special teams.
Yeah, he's a tough nut.
Larson's is a pretty good runner in his own right. Let's see if he gets a seam here. Not bad for 24, up to the 37. Don't get a penalty here.
Let's get off the field, don't talk.
Okay. We went through a special teams play with no penalties. That's a good sign for both teams. Had a couple unsportsmanlikes, each side picking one up. 13-12 to go in the game. Quarterback change at halftime for St. Francis, Illinois. Carl Bue, the quarterback. Larry Stringham back in there at running back. Did not think that would happen.
Amazing.
3 receivers, 2 on the right, 1 on the left. Tight end left is Friddle. High snap. It's a direct snap, I think. Was it a direct? Oh, that's not Stringham. I'm sorry. That's Gavin Day. Pardon me. Was that a direct snap or a bad snap?
I don't know. That's a good question. Let's take a look at it here. It's a bad snap. Nice play by Gavin to get some positive yards off of that.
All right, bad snap, 3-yard pickup.
He knew where the blocking was supposed to be on that play, and just took off.
Corners tight, 2 deep safety, 2nd and 7. Fake today. Carl's going to try to get to the edge. Friddle doing his best to block.
Yeah, number 11 for the Cougars. He's got the tough job, man. He's got to read Carl off of this RPO. There's the fake inside, and number 11 has Carl on that play, and he's a tough guy to chase down.
The rain's starting to come down a little bit harder here at Memorial Stadium. 3rd down and 3. You hear Coach Curry. Sounds like he's saying he's run hot. Maybe they just got one play. Nate Mull, by the way, who started the game, who's been the starter most of the year.
We're down to 5 seconds here in the play clock.
4, 3, got to get it off. 1 timeout.
Call timeout.
Little confusion there on the part of the Saints offense, and they have to burn a timeout. Hopefully something they would have needed toward the end of this quarter, but with the score the way it is, hopefully it's just not too late or too little too late here. Of course, St. Francis Cougars coming in rated number 22 in the country under brand new head coach Adam Sherman. In his first year, he was the offensive coordinator last year. Picked up a Assistant Coach of the Year award. See Coach Curry, Matt McCarthy there, but there's Coach Sherman taking over through the legendary Kevin Donnelly, who started the program in 1996. Donnelly did. After a rough few years, went 2-8 with USF in their first year. Didn't have another losing season after that, though, for 21 years.
Wow.
Went 3-6 in 2021, then 4-6 in 2022, and in that time, St. Francis, Indiana had 14 conference titles, 19 playoff appearances, and 2 national championships in 16 and 17. Retired after last season, and the man to take over those big shoes is that guy right there, Adam Sherman. Was a Hall of Fame player for St. Francis, Indiana in his own right. So it's, as much as Coach Curry's a St. Francis, Illinois lifer, Coach Sherman a St. Francis, Indiana lifer. See Carl Bew stumbling forward. He was hitting the backfield but able to pick up a first down. And slow to get up on that play is Marquise Cross, one of their all-star defensive ends.
Yes, definitely.
He's been causing havoc all day.
Yes, he has. That time the corner came down on Carl to try and make the play. Carl was able to bounce off him and get about 6 yards. Talk about another guy that's tough to bring down.
Mm-hmm. .309 yards through the air for Kolka today. 66%. He came in averaging about 63%. Today he was 66% for 4 touchdowns.
He has tremendous poise. Mm-hmm. Watching him play, he gets the ball out quick, but if things break down, he's able to move, and he's always looking downfield. He's looking more to extend the play to throw than he is to maybe take off and run, where Carl's more of a guy that he'll extend the play with his legs and take off running. Kolka's one to extend the play and then use his arm for the big play. And that's at the end of the first half, a couple big plays there. That's when it started to get away a little bit.
You know what the most impressive thing about him to me was he knows his options. He knows his reads. He'll go to the first option every time if it's there, but if it's not, he's so quick to second option. I don't even know if he's had to go to a third option yet today as he's progressed, but he knows exactly where his guys are going to be there, and he puts it right on the money.
He does. And he's got excellent receivers. They all catch well. They get open. And when he's as accurate as he is, he could throw anybody open.
First down for the Saints after the Carl Bew carry. Day is behind him. Give to Gavin, looking for something going on. There's nothing for Gavin Day as he's wrapped up and ridden out of bounds.
Oh, they had that play stuffed right from the get-go. They
give him a loss of 1 on the play back to the 48-yard line.
Well, was interesting. This time Carl didn't carry out his run fake. It was more he set up like a pass fake off it. I think if he would fake his run, he may have drawn one of those edge defenders out with him that may have opened up things a little bit more for Gavin.
Cougars will rush at least 4.
Here comes a blitz.
Here comes 5. Carl looking downfield. Fires one-on-one for Little, and it's way over his head. Oh, are they going to bring out the flag? That looked uncatchable to me.
The only thing that would be is if he held him.
Yeah.
They could call holding before the throw, but that ball was way out of bounds, like you said.
I'd never mind a throw to Ryan Little one-on-one.
Nope.
See the arm strength of Carl there a little bit, though, too.
Boy, the coverage was excellent.
Yeah, Greg Holmes, the corner who's been on Ryan Little all day, has been done a phenomenal job. Ryan's got a step here, though, down the middle of the field, but so does Carl. Carl picks up the first with his feet, chopped down at the 34. It's a big play for Carl Bew. Ryan Little had the inside leverage on a post route there, but it's a nice play by Carl.
Well, if you look, there it is. It opens up in the middle. He takes off. And that's as good as a pass down the field.
Man, did he have quite the tutelage sitting behind Sam Tumulty for a year, didn't he?
Yes, he has. And you'd always got great vision of the field running the ball from his kick returns. He sees the open lanes, and he could hit it so quick.
Blitz coming from the Cougars. Gavin Day trying to make something happen. Gets to about the 31. Picks up 3. The traditional run game not very effective at the moment.
I'll tell you what they look good offensively is having Carl drop back to throw and then decide to run.
Yeah.
See some openings and goes when you got the secondary all dropped off good coverage.
2nd and 7 at the 31-yard line for the Saints. Here you go. He's looking to throw, but here comes the quick blitz. Look at the footwork, and he finds Engstrom on the sideline for a first down. Carl Bew, folks.
That's what he gives you. That's the extra that makes it almost like playing 12 players, because he could throw, he could run. Look at here how he extends the play. He finds the lane, sees it, steps in, and then makes a good throw on the run. Right on target.
I thought he was going to be taken down behind the line. I didn't think he had a prayer, but he snuck out of it and made a nice throw. First down at the 20-yard line. Carl looking to throw again. They're going to go for back pylon for Ryan, trying for another one of those one-handed catches, but the flag comes out again on Greg Holmes, and he can't believe it. And Ryan Little saying he's doing it all game, guys.
Was that in the end zone? If that's in the end zone, isn't it to the 2-yard line? Interference was in the end zone?
I'm not exactly sure if he dropped the flag where he wanted to, or and the referee are going to call that one here. They're going to talk about it.
Well, if it's outside the end zone, I believe it's a 15-yard penalty. If it's inside the end zone, a pass interference would be at the 2-yard line. Unless he called holding. Pass interference?
No indication where it took place. Maybe the indication is they're not moving up very quickly here. Either case, it's going to be 1st and goal for the Saints.
They're calling the penalty. So
it's to the 2, to the 3 or 4. I guess either way, it's around the same area. A 15-yard penalty would have put it at the 5. Line of scrimmage was essentially the 20. So that's probably went with the traditional pass interference there. 1st and goal for the Saints. They need to punch it in here. Carl Bew was in this position before, ran it in himself. Finally getting the play in. Oh, they were racing the cards on the Gavin Day. Nothing doing there for Gavin. Ball came out, but they blew the whistle dead. They blew it dead, yeah.
Well, that defensive line had tremendous penetration that time. So you see here, look at Kind of bounced out the area where we didn't have any blocking. They just stuffed our line, and he tried to bounce it outside, and they had it covered very well.
Second and goal from the 8-yard line. Carl keeps it, looking for a seam right up the middle. It's going to be very close. Didn't quite get there. Third and goal from the 1-yard line coming up.
Yep, this is where you miss Stringham because he's a bull. He'll get you that yard.
And a timeout called by the Saints with 8:04 to go, 42-17. The score is the Saints just trying to get this score back to something kind of close. The two big changes to the Saints offense today, the quarterback change at halftime, and then Larry Stringham going down with an injury, not being able to come back. He was testing it out. He was, I believe he was out there for, it might have been Gavin Day, because I was looking for that black leg sleeve. It may have been Day on special teams, but we did see him down kind of testing it out. He was running under his own power, but just not confident enough on that leg to get back in there. As a matter of fact, I don't even see him on the sideline, I don't think.
I don't either, unless he's in the offense huddle over there, but I don't see him.
Yeah. Third and goal's coming up, but Nate Mall's going back out there at quarterback. Carl Bew on the sideline here on this third down and goal play. Gavin Day is the tailback. They're going to have
got Friddle in the backfield.
Yeah, he's going to be a fullback. Nate Mall is going to be under center here, so they're going to try to power it forward.
It's either going to be the
or is this going to be
push or Friddle?
Oh, Friddle, the fullback carry, and he's in for the score. They go to Jake Friddle.
I believe the reason they put Nate in there because he went under center.
Yep. Jake Friddle runs in his third rushing touchdown. He's got 6 total touchdowns on the season as the Saints put another one on the board with 8:01 to go. They're going to go for 2. No, math doesn't work out that way, so they're going to kick the extra point.
Yeah, Carl does a lot of things, but he probably hasn't had much practice getting underneath the center and getting the exchange. So you put Nate in there to hand it off to Friddle, who was an old running back in high school. So
at Wilmington, yeah. Guerrero for the extra point. He's been perfect this season. That was a bad snap, but nice job by McGuire to get that ball down up and good.
That was a great play by McGuire.
Still chasing 19 here. Still a 3-score game. That Josh Kulka offense, especially their air attack, has been impressive today.
See if we try anything on a onside or anything like that. See if we can get an extra possession here.
That drive for the Saints goes 11 plays, 64 yards, as you see Carl Bew taking a breather on the very wet bench here as the rain continues to fall in Joliet. Still don't see number 30. He might be back in the locker room.
Yeah, I don't no sense.
Actually, there he is at the 50-yard line.
There he is.
He's got his helmet on as if to say, Coach, whenever you need me. 8:01 to go here in the ball game. 42-24. Over 300 yards of passing offense, 119 yards of rushing offense for the Cougars today. Their offense has been very good. Onside kick attempt. It's loose. Saints are going to pick it up. Did they get there in time?
Yep.
They did. The Saints with the onside kick kicked it right at one of the upbacks for the Cougars, and he had no chance at catching that ball. The Saints will take over with 8 minutes to go, chasing 19. They need to score quick, and look at Mike Carver just losing his mind right now. Is he the one who picked it up?
Yes.
Mike Carver crashing out on the sideline.
All right. Let's see if we get a quick score here.
right, Carl Bew and company. They need to score quick here, and they're going to need another one of those onside kicks. Adrian Guerrero, my friends.
Yeah.
He has been outstanding all year long.
That was a great onside kick at the right hop, the big hop.
Carl wants to go downfield. Pocket collapses. There he goes. And a holding call is going to bring this one back. Come on, boys. You can't do it to yourself every single game like that. And Carl comes up limping, which is the worst case scenario for the Saints offense. Literal insult to injury.
Let's see here.
I don't think he's going to be able to go.
I didn't see where the hold was on that play. But
Johnny Sorensen's going to come in and play quarterback here as Carl's going to have to limp off. That's terrible news for the Saints offense.
Yeah, not sure what happened on that play, but he's limping pretty bad.
Blitz coming to Johnny. He's going to try and keep it bouncing left, and not a chance against those defensive ends. A.J. Moore, 11.5 tackles for a loss to lead the Cougars. Couple sacks. He is too good on that defensive end. See if Johnny can throw the ball here. He has not thrown very many passes. Sorensen is only 1 for 5 throwing the football. Another quarterback draw and another tackle for a loss for A.J. Moore. And he got bent over backwards and can barely walk. Carl Bew's going to limp back onto the field. We got quarterback mash unit now for the Saints.
Look at the penetration by the Cougars. They had 3 of their 4 linemen were in the backfield 3-4 yards. They've been playing on our side of the line of scrimmage most of this game.
Six and a half to go in the ball game. Carl's going to have to throw here on 3rd down and a mile. They need to get to midfield for a first down. Down the sideline, make the adjustment. Hackman, did he come up with it? No, he did not. I thought he had it as well, right near the the line to gain marker, but it's going to bring up 4th down, and Guerrero's going to have to punt it away.
That was all the way. That was going to be a fade route to that. He was going there all the way. Threw a back shoulder and just couldn't hang on to it. It was a great throw by Carl there.
It was.
Throw a back shoulder fade.
Guerrero on to punt it again.
Real impressed with the coverage by the corners for the Cougars.
Yep. 3rd punt of the game. Bo Braun back at the 30 to return for the Cougars. Good snap, and a whistle will blow it dead. Did the Cougars get the Saints to jump?
I think so.
I think the Cougars, look at the moonwalk. Did you see it? I believe that's Elijah Hunter do the moonwalk backward on the penalty. Oh, my gosh. That's got to be hard to do in cleats and turf. They really just baited St. Francis into that 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, they faked that rush there up the middle, and it created a flinch.
Does it try to do it again? Good snap from Carver. Guerrero giving his boys a little bit of time. Look at the spiral. It's like he threw it. And is downed by Nate Shute at the 41-yard line. 6:12 to go with a wet football and everything. And Carl Bew getting looked at on the sideline, too.
He's got so many different kicks in his – he has a plethora of kicks that he can make. Spirals. He's got reverse spin to stop the ball on a dime. It's amazing the things he can do with the football.
A quick shout out to our camera folks here today. Prepared for this rain, hoping it wasn't coming, but they're good to go. Thanks to Ed, and there's Andrew. What's up, man? Don't look so serious. We're supposed to be having fun out here. Aren't you having fun? A little bit easier for me to say in here, isn't it? Andrew, Ren, and Sam, and Ed, and Brendan, and Jessica. Appreciate everyone. dealing with the weather today. Carl Bew down there getting that right leg looked at as we await first down. There's Jessica. Loving life. There she is.
Do a fantastic job,
Yep.
boy.
Brendan and Jessica, little husband and wife team, Great Lakes Media. Appreciate them. Look them up if you ever need any video production work. First, second down run out to the 44. And another Saint injured. That's Mike Carver.
Carver, he made a great play on that, filling the gap and making a tackle, but I don't know what.
Running out. We got to running out of training staff to tend to all these injuries here.
Hopefully he just cramped up. But we got a big one next week against Olivet.
Yep, Olivet Nazarene next week. That's going to finish out the year on the road for the Saints.
I think he just cramped up, Nick, on that.
Hope so. I think he's looking for his helmet.
Yeah,
Somebody took it off for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't know it yet. He's going to limp over to the huddle there and get that lid. Mike Carver, one of the toughest guys you're going to find. Senior out of Montini, a linebacker. As for the Cougars, they will finish their year at home out in Fort Wayne, taking on Judson. There's Mike, number 53. Not only a linebacker, but the long snapper as well. Third down here for the Cougars. Look for number 7, Chris Mullen. Their big tight end. They love to go to him down the middle.
They're going to milk the clock here a little bit. Let the play clock get down.
20. So got another 20 seconds here. What's on your mind there, Coach? You know, you needed to get pressure on Kolka to have a chance in this game, and they just weren't really able to manufacture any of that. Down the middle, finds their guy McCutcheon.
At the times they did get pressure, he was able to extend the plays and then make a play with his excellent receiving core. Very impressed with the Cougars offense today.
Congratulations to the St. Francis women's soccer team. 2-1 win over the top-seeded Holy Cross team. The most wins in women's soccer history for St. Francis. Got quite the squad today. This year, I should say. First down after the catch from McCutcheon. On the ground this time, trying to go inside. Not a ton of room there, but somehow they keep finding a way to sneak 2, 3, 4 yards out of those situations.
He doesn't go down easy.
That one, I believe, was Braylon Gilliard. Number 22. Nope, number 22, pardon me. That's Aiden Dennis, the junior running back. Third on the depth chart at that position. Second down and 7. Doing a good job of keeping that Saints offense off the field. We're talking about St. Francis and Olivet next week. Well, the women's volleyball team took a 3-2 5-set game over the Tigers earlier this week. Another nice tackle right at the line of scrimmage for the Saints. Carson Hansen, I believe, one of the ones there. Of course he is, the Saints' leading tackler from his middle linebacker spot.
You got the Cougars now. They're just going to stick with their running game, obviously. Their 4-minute offense here, going to milk the clock, let it run down. Snap it at about 5 or less on the play clock.
Kolka pointing out a little defensive alignment.
Delay.
And they
Delay
do.
game.
They let the clock tick down all right. So 3rd and 5 will now be 3rd and 10, back to the 39-yard line. St. Xavier with the win over Olivet Nazarene.
Wow.
21-14 today. Didn't see that coming. Olivet Nazarene been bouncing around the top 25. The Cougars kind of messing with the receiving votes category a few times this year and able to knock off the Tigers.
There again, the blitz came through, then picked it up, and he right on target with the deep out.
Kolka might be the best quarterback we've seen. Let me take that back because we saw the kid from Indiana Wesleyan sling it all over the field out there in Marion, Indiana earlier this season. But Kolka's right up there as far as accuracy goes.
Yes, he is. He's thrown in some pretty tight windows today. And
they're going to let the time tick down to the 2-minute warning.
Yep. Well, that's a big win by St. Xavier. Their defense has been playing very well this year.
Yep. And I'll be honest up front here, I didn't do too much research into it, but there is a new system for how the playoff teams are decided in the NAIA now. You don't necessarily have to be rated in a certain amount. I believe it's almost like a playoff point system in the IHSA here in Illinois, where your strength of schedule matters, your opponent's wins factor in. I think they call them power points or something to that effect, but
for the at-large teams?
Yep, for the at-large. Yeah, if you win your conference, you still get that automatic bid. But for the at-large teams to fill out the field of 20, they're using a slightly different system instead of just being the coaches poll, which I think is probably a smart way to do it.
They're going to use a combination of things.
Yeah, it's strength of schedule and a whole bunch of different factors that go into it, more of a mathematical algorithm.
That's good. I think that's great. You could still use polls in that system, but you have also it'll have teams, non-conference try to schedule some good competition, get those points for strength of schedule.
Dennis, the ball carrier on the play for the Cougars on first down. It's a gain of 1 there as we tick under the 2-minute warning. Cougars just took the ball and are just not giving it back. Saints do have one more timeout if they decide to use it, but at this point, with 93 seconds to go, would seem like a moot point.
Yeah, I think they can run this out, I believe, without getting a first down. This being second down.
Dennis, the ball carrier again. Helicopter down at the 24. Brings up third down, so this can take it down to about 30 seconds or so.
That'll do it. Just going to kneel down, I would think, now, or victory formation, and then they'll just take a knee, and that'll be it.
There's the knee, and that'll take us to the end of this ball game. 42-24, the final score. The Saints fall to 3-6 on the season overall, 1-3 in the conference. These Cougars, though, after a first week loss to Campbellsville, who's now number 11 in the country, and a loss at Marion a few weeks ago, number 5 in the country, have beaten handedly everyone else they've had on their schedule. They're 8-2, now 3-1 in the Midwest League. They will now be tied with St. Xavier at 3-1. But Marion still holds that stranglehold on the MSFA Midwest Conference with an undefeated 4-0 record. Likely will end up 5-0 at the end of next week. But St. Francis, Indiana, ranked number 22. They're making a bid to be one of those at-large teams in the NAIA playoffs in 2 weeks. Pretty impressive offensive performance from Josh Kolka, 334 yards, 69% efficiency through the air, and 4 touchdowns. Threw it to 7 different receivers. McPeak had 2 touchdowns, 4 catches for 98 yards for him. tight end Chris Mullen, 5 catches, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Dandridge had 5 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown, or no touchdowns for him, but Smith had 2 catches for a score and 31 yards. Offensively for St. Francis, Nate Wall 15 for 24 for 114 yards through the air, no touchdowns, 1 interception, been sacked 1 time in the first half. Made a quarterback switch at halftime, the Saints did. Carl Bew did most of it on the ground, running for 83 yards, averaging 5.9 per run. As we go down to the field, where no matter what happens down there, we appreciate the time from Coach Curry. And Coach, we knew it was going to be a tough assignment against a really good passing offense, and Josh Kolka was really good today finding those windows.
No, he was, and you got to give him some credit. I think we blew some coverages at times. Some things that we haven't been doing the past couple of weeks. Just lack of communication on the back end, and when you have lack of communication on the back end, as they say, the scoreboard changes, and it did. So.
Yeah, but even so, the spark you got at halftime from Carl coming in, the defense responded with another takeaway, which they've done all game. And if there's one thing you can count on from your guys, it's no matter what the scoreboard and how it changes, they just keep battling down there.
I hope so. I hope that's what you guys see, because that's what we want. And it's a little thing, but I told them at halftime, I don't care what the scoreboard says. You get a limited time to compete in your career. And you can't let any of those opportunities split, or you can't let any of those opportunities miss. And then you got to go out and compete your ass off every day and every play that you get. And there's a lot of people who, Nicky Franciscovich, Trey Sayers, that aren't getting that opportunity to compete, every single week, and these kids do. So they got to take advantage of that.
Well, I think they have, Joe. I think watching them play, they played hard right down to the end. You played against an excellent team. Yeah. They had a great running back that was hard to bring down, and the quarterback obviously played well. But I like the way your kids responded. I think the second half, when you came out and adjusted your offense, that gave you kind of a nice spark. And, Bew gives you that guy that's almost like a 12th man on the field.
Yeah, he does, and he wanted every opportunity to do that today. And he actually came to me and he said, he goes, "Hey, do you still want me to return kicks even though I'm playing quarterback?" I said, "We're rewriting history over here, so yeah, let's go." So he welcomed it, and he wants the ball in his hands, and he's just a great kid, humble kid that again, when I say he wants to go out there and take advantage of every opportunity, he does, and I couldn't ask for more.
Of course, senior day, I wouldn't ask you to try to remember every single one of them on the spot, but as a group, any thoughts about this senior class that's leaving us?
Just a gritty group. Love them to death. They were part of some very, very successful years here, and I'm sorry that we couldn't give them a great year on their way out and everything, and a great senior day, especially today. But it doesn't take away from anything that they gave to the program and how they've worked their butts off every day to produce a winner here at St. Francis, and I can't thank them enough for that.
Appreciate your time here, Coach. We'll go 1-0 next week, eh?
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks a lot. Should have let him know that St. Xavier actually beat Olivet today. I wonder what his reaction to that would be. Probably a little bit more concerned about addressing his guys at the moment. But it is senior day. 17 players played in their last home game of their careers today. Matt Alston, Ryan Banis, Marcelo Bernardi, William Brandow, Mike Carver, Gavin Day, Nick Franciscovich, Jake Friddle, Carson Hansen, Brandon Harry, Rylan Heersink, Nick Mabutis, Owen McGuire, Anthony Nichikowski, Athanasius Navaltzi, Curtis Reeves, Alan Richards. Saints are going to be losing a lot of talent, both sides of the ball, offensive line, defensive line. Carson Hansen and Alan Richards, they're 2 stalwart linebackers. Jake Friddle, who's been one of the main guys they run their offense through, had a rushing touchdown today. They're going to have some guys step up because they're losing a pretty good class.
Yeah, they're losing a great group of guys, great football players, but great leaders too. The guys you mentioned there, they're just, they're the ones that set the example of effort out there on the field and leadership. But they got a good young nucleus ready to come back as well too. I hope they heal up well for next week for Olivet. That'd be a great challenge for them. It'd be a great victory if they could pull that off in Kankakee. And again, great working with you again this year, Nick. I learned so much from you and enjoy it so much. So let's hope the Saints can go off and finish on a winning note next week.
Yeah, well, ditto from you. I learned more about football just from sitting next to you than I have before. So I appreciate the insights you bring in and your passion for the program, man. It's a lot of fun doing these games, every home game. Again, the Saints will finish off the season next week on the road. They will take on longtime rival Olivet Nazarene on the road. So big thanks to you, Coach, and Dave Lacetta for making sure we're all taken care of here every single home game. And, of course, Brendan and Jessica and rest of the crew braving the weather today. Ed and Andrew and Ren and Sam, we appreciate you guys. We really, really do. It's one of the best broadcasts in the NAIA, and there's no doubt about that. But the Saints fall today. Sorry we couldn't bring you a winner. 42-24, the final score, as the Cougars take 8 out of 9 now from your Fighting Saints. Of course, you can get all the details, schedules, stats, stories from all the other programs here with the athletics department at GoFightingSaints.com. For Coach Dan Sharp, my name's Nick Jacobs. We'll see you on the road in Bourbonnais next week. Go Saints.